Chapter 772. Huang Yao's stock fell, and the morale of the board of directors was unstable. After such a big incident, no one knew if Sheng Bowen could continue to lead Huang Yao safely. Therefore, after the incident, the board of directors called Old Master Sheng and asked if the Sheng family could introduce a new successor so that they could make plans early. The matter has not been decided yet. Are you all so impatient? Bowen has led Huang Yao for so long, and he has never disappointed you, has he? I believe in my grandson. He will definitely be able to handle the matter well, so you don't have to be so anxious. After all, eighth brother is still here. When the other party heard Sheng Zhao's name, they did not say anything else. According to Zhongting's current development, even if there were 10 Huang Yaos, Sheng Xiao would still be able to suppress them. Seeing that the old man kept receiving calls, Ren Yufei felt very helpless. Grandpa, I'm really useless. I can't help at all. How can you be blamed for this? The old man waved his hand. Yufei, don't be anxious. Ever since third brother married you, he has become much more stable. I believe he can handle it. I hope so. Grandpa, it's getting late. You should go in and rest. I'll wait for him. I can't sleep if he doesn't come back. Let's go together. The stock fell. His reputation was damaged. The old man did not feel any heartache at all. He cared more about his grandson now. Taking advantage of this time, the old man called Sheng Xiao. Eighth brother, you know about third brother's matter, right? Yes, Sheng Xiao said calmly. I don't ask for anything else. I just hope that you can protect your third brother's safety. You know him. He's kind. It's both a strength and a weakness. It was rare for the old man to call him for help because of third brother's matter. Sheng Xiao smiled faintly and replied, You don't have to worry. Isn't it enough to have a busybody in the family? Old Master Sheng understood Sheng Zhao's hint. He knew that Mu Qiqi would intervene and was relieved. That's good. She was clearly just a little girl in her early 20s. Old Master Sheng did not understand why he trusted her so much. But the truth was that this girl was really trustworthy. It was late at night, and Sheng Bowen was still making statements at the police station. Mu Qiqi and Su Che rushed to the police station, and the traffic police were still asking Sheng Bowen all kinds of questions. Right now, your situation is a little complicated. Whether or not it constitutes an escape, we still have to wait for the liability recognition letter. You'd better think of a way to prove that you really didn't know or didn't notice the accident at the time. Otherwise, you may face detention. This is to let you be mentally prepared. Now that there's nothing else, you can go. But Mu Qiqi wanted to see the surveillance footage. From the looks of it, he could only look for a nearby shop to see if there were any cameras that could capture this scene. Why are you here? Sheng Bowen turned around and saw Mu Qiqi waiting at the door. He suddenly felt much more relaxed. I'm just worried about you. Of course, Mu Qiqi did not say the last two words. I have a general understanding of the situation. Now it's up to the traffic police to decide if you are a hit and run. I really don't know. I still need Yufei to make up the statement tomorrow. Sheng Bowen shrugged. There are already people making a big deal out of your escape. How can you still laugh? Mu Qiqi walked in front and glared at him. Now we have two things to do. The first is to find a way to get the surveillance footage of the shops around the scene of the accident. The second is to immediately investigate the 18 generations of the couple's ancestors. You're becoming more and more like a police officer. You can continue being a silly and sweet person and think that everything in the world is perfect. Whether this matter has anything to do with Sheng Kai or not, let him be proud of himself for now. Sheng Bowen also had the same plan. He was prepared to show off his silly and sweet face to others in the future. However, just as they walked out of the police station, the hospital called. The little girl's life was in danger. When he left just now, the doctor had clearly said that the child was out of danger. How long had it been? If I were that couple, if I wanted you to compensate more, I might have to make you pay a greater price. I might have also taken a risk. After all, that's not their biological daughter, and she's terminally ill. After hearing Mu Qiqi's words, Sheng Bowen's expression was gloomy and scary. The conspiracy between adults should not involve children, especially such a pitiful child. When we get to the hospital later, don't say anything. Let me speak on your behalf. Okay. Shungboan calmed down and nodded. However, no matter what I say later, just watch. The other party will definitely cry and throw a tantrum, because he's on the weaker side. He clearly doesn't really care about the child. The matter with Huang Yao had blown up. Sheng Kai was naturally filled with excitement when he saw the full news report. It turned out that his godfather was not lying to him. He had really given him a huge gift. Old Master Sheng had always cherished Huang Yao's reputation. Now that Sheng Bowen had caused such a huge scandal, it would probably make him feel worse than killing him. Then, Jin Bo called Sheng Kai. Kai, do you like such a gift? Of course I like it, godfather. It's good that you like it. This is just the beginning. Jin Bo smiled. What do you think about sending him to prison? Godfather, are you confident? Jin Bo chuckled. After a long while he slowly answered Sheng Kai, a hit and run. Of course, such a person has to be punished. If that's really the case, I'll definitely follow Godfather's lead in the future. As long as you're happy. After saying that, Jin Bo hung up. If Sheng Bowen could really go to prison because of this, it would be a heavy blow to both the Sheng family and Huang Yao. Of course, he was happy to see it happen. However, he did not know how Jin Bo had set up such a trap. When Mu Chichi and the others arrived at the hospital, it was already 11 o'clock at night. After another resuscitation, the little girl was sent to the ICU. The guardians seemed to have been waiting for Sheng Bowen on purpose. Even though they looked extremely disheveled, they still wanted to see Sheng Bowen to vent their anger. It's all because of you. My daughter was almost separated from me by life and death. You murderer. Mu Chichi glanced at her and stood in front of Sheng Bowen and the agitated woman. She grabbed her waving hand and said, You have deep feelings for your niece, don't you? When the guardian heard Mu Chichi's words, she was stunned for a moment before returning to her original fierceness. So what? The child grew up without parents. She grew up with us. This is our child. Madam, you have to think carefully before you speak. Mu Chichi shook off her wrist, took out her phone, and turned on the recording function. You have to know that I've recorded everything you say now. I've never seen a perpetrator so arrogant. The reason I'm doing this is to remind you of what you said today. Otherwise, when the time comes, I'll be embarrassed for you. Chapter 773. Are you still human? My daughter is so seriously injured, and you're still bullying us victims. Lady, you probably don't know. I'm also a medical student and a forensic doctor. I'll find out why your daughter was resuscitated again after the doctor announced that she was out of danger. Mu Chichi was too lazy to fight with the other party. She aimed for the heart of the other party and hit the nail on the head. Sure enough, the woman's expression changed when she heard this. Don't try to mislead people. That's my daughter. I won't allow you to see her. What if you do something and harm my daughter? The woman looked like she was going to put on an act until the end. I heard that the child's parents are no longer around, and the child has leukemia. For a family like yours, this expense should be too much for you to bear, right? I think you'd rather the child leave without a trace. On the contrary, why would we harm the child? This won't do us any good. Lady. The woman did not expect this young girl to be able to see through their thoughts, so she became angry out of embarrassment. I said, for the sake of justice, we don't want compensation. I just want that man to pay the price. Really? Mu Chichi's expression became even more unfathomable. Of course, you can pretend that you don't care about money in front of us, because someone has already paid in secret, right? The woman was stunned. Seeing this, Mu Chichi continued to pursue the victory. You don't have to be so panicked. The truth can't be fake, and the fake can't be real. We'll find out the truth after we investigate it. I know what you're thinking, but I can tell you very clearly that don't think you can get away with it. Even if the Sheng family is implicated because of this, I want you to know that if the Sheng family bears with it, I want you to bear with it. If the Sheng family bears with it, you have to bear with it. If the Sheng family bears with it, you have to bear with it. If the Sheng family bears with it, you have to bear with it. If the Sheng family bears with it, you have to bear with it. Facing such a strong Mu Chichi, the woman was speechless. Because no one told her that this girl was actually so powerful. Third brother, go and see the child. I'll go and find the child's attending doctor and ask him why the child needs to be resuscitated a second time. Of course, Muchichi's words were meant for her so-called aunt to hear. It was because killing this girl would bring her too many benefits. Sheng Bowen nodded and led Su Che to the entrance of the child's intensive care unit under the guidance of the nurse. Sheng Bowen looked at the little girl through the glass. He really couldn't bear to see her. Her thin and weak body had to endure so much suffering. He was also one of the culprits. If this child can really get through this safely, I will definitely find a way to cure her illness and sponsor her to go to school. Standing behind Sheng Bowen, Su Che could feel how rich Sheng Bowen's emotions were. That was the biggest difference between him and Sheng Xiao. Meanwhile, Muchichi found the little girl's attending doctor. It's because of the adverse reaction of anesthesia, which caused the child's cardiac arrest. We have informed the child's family about this part, and they have signed in advance, the attending doctor explained. The child's anesthesia is monitored by a professional anesthesiologist. The measurement and other aspects are strictly controlled. Nowadays, there are very few accidents in the clinic. What's more, after the child left the operating table, the anesthesia period is almost over. I don't believe this is an accident. The doctor looked at Muchichi and frowned. Do you have any questions about my profession? Doctor, that's not what I mean. Of course, I believe in your profession, but I don't believe in that couple. Muchichi told the doctor bluntly. Your nurse has already told me that this couple is not the child's biological parents. Moreover, the child has long been seriously ill. If they don't want to continue to bear this burden, and now that they can blackmail a big company, it's not impossible for them to choose to take the risk. When that time comes, will the hospital be responsible if there is a medical accident? After hearing this, the doctor's expression softened and he took a deep breath. This is the patient's family matter. As doctors, we have no right to interfere. Moreover, you are the wrong party, so what you say is even more untrustworthy. Excessive use of anesthetic drugs will cause the heart rhythm to be out of balance, and the blood concentration to be too high, which will lead to heart failure and sudden arrest. I believe that the hospital's anesthesiologists are professional enough. But what if someone knows medical knowledge and uses this to cause trouble? Are you also a medical student? The doctor looked at Muchichi in confusion and sized her up. Muchichi took a deep breath and paused for a second before she said, You open the living body to save the dying and help the injured. I open the dead body to seek justice and investigate the case. The doctor nodded. It was no wonder that there were so many doubts. I understand what you mean. If possible, I will arrange for a blood test and urine test for the child. I will also remind the nurse to pay attention to the child's safety. Are you satisfied with this? Doctor, I don't want to make things difficult for you, but this is a life. I don't want to hurt the innocent because of the adult's viciousness. You are a forensic doctor. You have seen more than us. Okay, we will do our best to protect the child. Whether it was a doctor or a forensic doctor, their purpose was actually the same: to serve life. The doctor could see that Muchichi really cared about the child, so his tone softened. If there is a result, I will ask the nurse to inform you. However, at this critical juncture, you still have to avoid arousing suspicion. Thank you, doctor. Muchichi did not believe that the second rescue was due to an adverse reaction caused by anesthesia. However, they could not find any evidence that the couple had harmed the child. A moment later, Muchichi left the doctor's office and met up with Sheng Bowen outside. Have you seen the child? Yes, it's very fragile. Sheng Bowen's psychological burden was very heavy. No matter what, the child had become like this because of him. He had to bear the main responsibility. What about you? How did it go? There's nothing suspicious at the moment. Of course there's nothing suspicious, because from the beginning to the end, it was your Sheng family who bullied others. The couple went forward and pointed at Muchichi. It's really amazing to be rich. However, Muchichi did not intend to pay attention to them. Since the child has been seen, let's go back. In fact, there were still many things they had to do that night. I believe that justice will not be late. You, a scumbag who hit and ran, will definitely have retribution. Chapter 774. No matter how we look after the child, The woman pointed at Sheng Bowen with a sharp voice. He's the culprit. The traffic police will give a clear explanation for the division of responsibility. You guys should take good care of the child. With that, Mu Chichi and Sheng Bowen left the hospital together. After walking out of the hospital, Mu Chichi turned to Su Che and said, I might have to trouble you tonight. I'm worried about that little girl. I think that couple will wait for an opportunity to attack. Su Che understood what Mu Chichi meant and replied, I'll stay in the hospital. If anything happens, I'll collect evidence in time. Not only that couple, but also the nurses with abnormal behavior. If the accident liability letter came down and Sheng Bowen was determined to have escaped, then the sentence of serious injury and death would be completely different. Although Sheng Bowen could apply for a review and hire a lawyer to defend him, a child was still alive. No one wanted such a young child to suffer such repeated torture. If this matter was eventually found to be related to Sheng Kai, then one could imagine how vicious he was. Xiao Qi, I've implicated you again. After Su Che left, Sheng Bowen sighed. Why must there be so many schemes between people? If the accident liability letter comes down, and you're convicted of escaping, then you'll be detained immediately. When you go back later, discuss the review with the lawyer, and let the lawyer prepare to defend you. Okay. I'll send someone to look for the surveillance footage, and meet with the lawyer. I'll inform you as soon as there's any news. Sheng Bowen nodded. Mu Chichi had already helped him so much, so he had no reason to be depressed. Moreover, he still had to comfort Rin Yufei and his grandfather when he got home. What Mu Chichi needed to do tonight was to investigate the background of the girl's family. If possible, it would be best to let her see the surveillance footage. Half an hour later, Sheng Bowen sent Mu Chichi back to the Banyan courtyard. He wanted to apologize to eighth brother in person, but it was too late. He still had to rush home to comfort the old man. Therefore, he could only wait until the matter was over. In fact, Mu Chichi thought that since Sheng Xiao had asked her to intervene in this matter, he would not personally ask about it. Unexpectedly, when Mu Chichi returned home, she found that the little girl's information was already on the desk in the study. The youngest daughter was Meng Jieyu. She was 5 years old. Her mother died in childbirth while giving birth to her. Her father passed away in a car accident when she was 2 years old. From then on, the little girl stayed with her grandparents. However, the exorbitant medical expenses caused the two elderly people to fall ill one after another. In the end, the little girl's uncle and aunt took the child over on the condition that the two elderly people would transfer the house under their names. Xiao Jieyu lived with her uncle and aunt for more than a year, but her condition was getting worse. The two of them often left Xiao Jieyu in the hospital, hired a nurse, and left her hanging half dead. They never took the initiative to ask about her in the hospital. To put it bluntly, the two of them were only looking forward to the death of their child for the sake of the house. That way they could lighten their burden earlier. As for Xiao Jieyu's so-called uncle and aunt, they didn't have a fixed job and lived off their parents. But they didn't have any bad records. If it was for money, it would be easy to get rid of them. But these two people are clearly bewitched by someone and want to kill third brother. Moreover, I'm more worried about the child's safety. I feel that whether it's the greedy couple or the people behind them, they don't want Xiao Jiyu to live. After Mu Qiqi finished reading the information, her face darkened. Such a little thing's background makes me feel angry and regretful. Sheng Xiao heard her mutter, and couldn't help but touch her head. I've found the surveillance footage of that section of the road. It'll be here in half an hour. Third brother moved so quickly? Zhongting's people went to look for it. Sheng Xiao knew better than them what Sheng Bowen would face if he didn't find out the truth as soon as possible. The most important thing now was to prove that Sheng Bowen didn't know anything. He also had to find evidence that the couple had deliberately harmed Xiao Jiyu's life. Only by doing two things at the same time could it be useful. I thought you didn't have time to care about this. Damn it, he's too slow. No one could compare to Sheng Xiao in terms of foresight. This was what Mu Qiqi admired the most about Sheng Xiao. Then I'll watch the surveillance footage tonight before I sleep, okay? Sheng Xiao looked at the time. It was already early in the morning. If he didn't let her watch it, she probably wouldn't be able to sleep that night. Don't do it again. I have a feeling that I'll definitely find something useful in the surveillance footage. On the other side, Sheng Bowen dragged his tired body into the living room. Ren Yufei and the rest of the Sheng family immediately came up to him. Third brother, are you alright? Bowen, I'm fine. I've made you worry. Sheng Bowen shook his head. All of you should go and rest. It's really fine. Huang Yao will be fine. The rest of the Sheng family expressed their concern, and then returned to their rooms. Only Ren Yufei and Old Master Sheng were left, and their expressions were not as relaxed. I talked to the lawyer for a while just now. The lawyer told me that the possibility of you escaping is very high. The old man sat on the sofa and sighed. Is the child okay? She's fine for now, Sheng Bowen answered as he sat on the sofa. Third brother, tell me the truth. Did someone intentionally frame you? Did it have something to do with that bastard? Old Master Sheng wasn't a fool. It was just that after the surgery, his mind was a little slow. However, if he thought about it carefully, he would understand. Grandpa, this is between us. I'm not afraid to compete with him. Sheng Bowen neither admitted nor denied it, because he knew that if he denied it, the old man might go to Shinkai. When I chased him out, I thought that there might be such a day. I didn't expect retribution to come so quickly. Old Master Sheng let out a long sigh. It's been hard on you. Where's Xiaoqi? She scolded the couple in the hospital, and went back to look for evidence. Sheng Bowen smiled and said, if it were anyone else, they really wouldn't be able to handle that kind of scene. Ren Yufei leaned against him. After hearing this, she felt very upset. I can't help at all. Go to the police station tomorrow and explain this matter clearly. Yufei, don't belittle yourself. Everyone has their own value, okay? Ren Yufei didn't expect Sheng Bowen to comfort her. She immediately held Sheng Bowen's hand tightly. Don't worry, I know what to do. Chapter 775. 3 in the morning, Banyan Courtyard. The light in Sheng Zhao's study was still on. Mu Qiqi watched the footage of Sheng Bowen's accident over and over again. She eliminated any other violations of the rules one by one. Although they were at the zebra crossing, the green light was indeed on. It should be the driving time for the car. Moreover, there was a car on the right lane, so Sheng Bowen was in a blind spot. At that time, the woman had taken Xiao Jiyu to the zebra crossing when the light was yellow. When the light turned green, she immediately stopped and waited. However, for some reason, Xiao Jiyu suddenly ran a few steps forward and tripped on the ground. His legs seemed to have no strength. Mu Qiqi had seen this scene countless times, including how the woman guarded Xiao Jiyu. The woman kept her hand on Xiao Jiyu's back and bent down to support her as she walked. This won't do. We know this is a conspiracy, but we can't find any evidence. Mu Qiqi forced herself to focus and carefully observe the surveillance. It would be great if I could enlarge the surveillance so that I could see the woman's hand. Mu Qiqi mumbled to herself and finally fell asleep in the study. As for Sheng Xiao, on the other hand, he was checking the other surveillance cameras in his bedroom because it was the only way from Huang Yao to the Sheng family. Sheng Xiao collected all the surveillance footage from the past few days and carefully searched for the couple's figure. If they were really hiding there on purpose, they would definitely appear in the surveillance footage. The facts proved that it was as he had expected. At 5 in the morning, Mu Qiqi returned to the bedroom, climbed onto the big bed, and lay beside Sheng Xiao. Xiao Xiao, why do I feel like that woman put her hand behind Xiao Jiyu's back and pushed her? Go to sleep. If there's anything else, we can talk about it tomorrow. I want to find witnesses. Mu Qiqi collapsed on the bed, exhausted to the extreme. Meanwhile, Sheng Xiao opened his eyes. The sequence of events was like this. First, they had to prove that the couple had committed intentional murder. Then, the lawyer would argue that Sheng Bowen had no knowledge of the traffic accident. Of course, the difficulty of this matter was that the mastermind behind this matter had been in control of the whole situation. His goal was very clear. He wanted to send Sheng Bowen to prison. If he wanted to seize the opportunity to counterattack, he had to distract his opponent. Thinking about it this way, it wasn't to the extent of walking into a hopeless situation. So when the sky brightened, Sheng Xiao got up and called Tang Yan. Are you free? Face to face. I'll be right there. The two men took advantage of the fact that their respective women were resting, so they arranged to meet in the banyan courtyard. Fifth aunt came over early in the morning to brew coffee for the two of them, along with a nutritious breakfast. What information do you have so far? Tang Yan asked as he stirred his coffee. I always knew that there was someone behind Sheng Kai. From the moment Sheng Kai used Third Master Long to frame Huang Yao, the resources he had were not something the Gu family could support. The police haven't been able to find the source of the goods from Huang Yao. I think it's because the other party has a powerful background. After that, Baisini's case happened, which made me even more certain that the person behind Sheng Kai was not only the murderer of Baisini's case, but also caused a lot of trouble in Jianchuan. I tried to find out who it was, but to no avail. Now, Sheng Kai is using that person's power to start targeting Huang Yao and the Sheng family. I have to be on guard. But I think the closest time to this person is when Xiao Qi and Officer Cheng found Su Hong and Zhou Qin in J City. Sheng Xiao sorted out what had happened during this period of time and told Tang Yan. You mean that the person who framed Third Young Master this time is the murderer of Baisini's case? Sheng Xiao took a sip of coffee and said elegantly. What do you think? It's because Sheng Kai played a very important role in the middle that I can't help but suspect it. Then what countermeasures do you have now? The case of Third Young Master's escape should be a done deal. This must be defended through a lawyer. What are your plans? Sheng Xiao hesitated for a moment before he suddenly raised his head and said to Tang Yan, I have a very bold idea. This case is already closely related to the Sheng family. I can't continue to stand by and do nothing. Go ahead. The Sheng family's matter will be handled according to the police's procedures. I will deal with the couple because this is different from Third Brother's escape. This is also the other party's brilliance. Regardless of whether the couple wants to kill the child or not, Third Brother's escape is a fact. The Sheng family will be anxious because Sheng Bowen is detained. At this time, Sheng Kai or the person behind him should relax and appreciate their own results. So at that time, it will be a good time for the police to go to J City and get close to Su Hong or Zhou Qin. The other party will definitely not expect that we will choose that time to secretly investigate Baisini's case. And the sooner we solve Baisini's case, the sooner we can find the person behind Sheng Kai. Tang Yan thought about it carefully and felt that he could take the risk. I will mention this idea to the chief, Tang Yan said cautiously. If we want to take action, we have to start wiring now and make long-term plans. I'll wait for your news. Sheng Xiao knew Tang Yan's concerns. After all, this matter was not up to him. There was still the chief above him, although the chief had promised to give Tang Yan an explanation. Have you mentioned these thoughts to Xiao Qi? Sheng Xiao shook his head. Officer Cheng is a lesson. The fewer people who know about this, the better. All right, thank you for breakfast, CEO Sheng. I'll be leaving first. Chi-Chi should be awake soon. Sheng Xiao nodded slightly and watched Tang Yan leave the banyan courtyard. 10 minutes later, Mu Chi-Chi recovered. She came out of the bedroom and sat beside Sheng Xiao. Good morning, Master Xiao. Sheng Xiao glanced at him amused. Did this mean that the little one had changed her pet name for him? What did you find from the surveillance cameras? I found a very important witness. I'll go look for him today. Mu Chi-Chi picked up the glass of milk and took a sip. She said calmly, Last night, I had to beg Senior Brother Long for a long time before he was willing to give me this person's address. He didn't reveal any other private information, and even said that he was going to be fired. You told me before you went to bed last night that you suspected that the woman deliberately pushed the little girl. Yes, that's why I need this witness. Mu Chi-Chi snorted. She's such a young child, and she's even her own niece. She's worse than an animal. Sheng Xiao patted Mu Chi-Chi's head to comfort her. Then look carefully today. Last night, Su Che called and said that the little girl's grandfather came, but was chased away by the couple. I want to meet him too. Chapter 776. What escape? Even if you want to judge an escape, you have to meet the conditions. A normal escape refers to a series of abnormal behaviors in order to avoid responsibility. For example, cleaning up the scene, moving the victim's body, like third brother, going shopping as if nothing had happened, and even went home normally. That's called ignorance. It's precisely because it's subjective that it's difficult to find evidence. After Sheng Xiao said that, he picked up his coffee cup again. However, the lawyer knows how to deal with this matter. If you can prove that the other party deliberately framed you, it can also increase third brother's chances. I will definitely find it, Mu Qiqi said very seriously. Instead of saying that she was answering Sheng Xiao, it was more accurate to say that she was secretly swearing to herself in her heart. Sheng Xiao chuckled and did not bother about her anymore. After breakfast, Mu Qiqi went out. She wanted to meet the witness first, so she asked Sheng Xiao for 2 bodyguards. The witness was a middle-aged man. At that time, he was holding a baby in his arms. He was probably taking his grandson for a walk. Mu Qiqi spent the whole morning looking for him, and told him that she wanted to meet him. At first, the man was a little resistant, but in the end, he agreed to meet Mu Qiqi. However, it was already afternoon, and Mu Qiqi was hungry. After the man coaxed the child to sleep, he invited Mu Qiqi to the living room. Who are you? Why do you want to see me? There was a car accident last night. I believe you still remember it, right? Mu Qiqi tried her best to sound humble. Hello. I really didn't mean to pry into your privacy. I really didn't want to. I won't disturb you again in the future. It's like this. I just want to ask if you saw the whole process. You mean there was a hit-and-run incident last night? You were standing behind the mother and daughter, weren't you? Uncle, did you see anything unusual? Mu Qiqi went straight to the point, hoping that the man could help her recall. That woman suddenly brought the child to the sidewalk and pushed me behind. I was holding my grandson, so I couldn't argue with her. I didn't know what she was trying to do in a hurry. I didn't notice anything else, but I noticed that the woman kept pushing the little girl. Did you see it clearly? It was so close. How could I be wrong? The man snorted. That little girl is sweating all over. She looks uncomfortable, and her face is as white as a sheet of paper. Moreover, it's been a few days. I've seen her in the vicinity, but I don't see her on normal days. I don't know what she's doing on the streets. The old man had a grandson, so he loved his child very much, but he also hated that woman very much. That little girl is really pitiful. Uncle, would you be willing to step forward and prove the driver's innocence? Hearing that Zhang Xian was going to step forward, the middle-aged man hesitated. I also have a grandson. I don't want anyone to take revenge on me, so I'm sorry. In fact, Mu Qiqi had expected such an outcome. However, this at least proved that her guess was right. That woman had pushed Xiao Jiyu. It's all right. Sorry to bother you today. Mu Qiqi immediately expressed her understanding. The one who had the accident was my third brother. He didn't know that he had bumped into the child, and now he's blaming himself. If it was an accident, we would have left this matter to the police. We wouldn't have come to you. But the child's aunt clearly pushed the child. That's why I came to you. To be honest, the child has congenital leukemia and lives with his uncle and aunt. However, this couple doesn't treat the child sincerely. They only agreed to take the child over for the sake of their parents' house. However, they also have children of their own. How could they be willing to raise a sickly child? After hearing Mu Qiqi's words, the man understood, but he did not say anything. When Mu Qiqi was about to leave the house, he stopped Mu Qiqi and said, Wait, I'll leave you my number. If there's a need, ask the police to look for me. After Mu Qiqi heard this, she quickly bowed. Thank you. Thank you so much. We all have children and grandchildren. We also have compassion. The man sighed and handed the note with his number to Mu Qiqi. Mu Qiqi looked at him gratefully and left. Although she had been a forensic assistant for a long time, and knew that there were many people in this world who were worse than ghosts, she could not give up her trust in others, such as this uncle. After that, Mu Qiqi went to the hospital and saw Su Che. Last night at 2 o'clock in the morning, the child's grandfather came to the hospital with a cane. He wanted to see his granddaughter, but he was chased out by that woman. I asked the nurse to settle the old man in a nearby hotel. You'll see him later. Also, there's nothing unusual in the intensive care unit. They probably haven't found a chance to do anything yet. You have to go back to Xiao Xiao's side later. This child is really worrying. Mu Qiqi sighed, because she guessed that the other party would definitely think of a way to take the child's life. If there was no one watching, it would be really hard to guard against. So, once we find evidence to prove that there's something wrong with the couple, we must call the police immediately. Su Che reminded her. Last night, I looked for the head nurse and told her the basic situation. She said that she would arrange for reliable nurses today. Wait a moment, I'll tell you who the two people are. Other than them, there's something wrong with the others. Reliable. Mu Qiqi gave Su Che a thumbs up. Now I'll take you to the hotel. Then I'll return to Zhongteng. Mu Qiqi and Su Che were about to leave the hospital, but they almost bumped into Xiao Jieyu's aunt. Mu Qiqi felt disgusted when she saw this woman, so she avoided her and left through another door of the hospital with Su Che. After arriving at the hotel, the waiter brought Mu Qiqi and Su Che into the old man's room. For some reason, when she saw the old man's emaciated appearance, she suddenly couldn't help but tear up. Who are you? I want to see my Jiayu. Grandpa, we want to help Jiyu. Mu Qiqi immediately made her position clear and gestured to Su Che. Wait for me outside the door. Su Che nodded. Be careful. Mu Qiqi looked at the old man and felt bitter. Grandpa, you've heard about Jiyu's car accident, right? When the old man heard about the child's car accident, he immediately started crying. If it weren't for the fact that I can't move, I wouldn't have given Xiao Jiyu to those two beasts. Grandpa, how do Jiyu's uncle and aunt treat her? Chapter 777. Mu Qiqi knew that, after all, the couple was the old grandpa's family. If she wanted to get more inside information from him, she had to show her identity and stance. Therefore, after spending some time, Mu Qiqi told the old grandpa about her identity, her purpose, and everything she knew so far. The old grandpa listened to Mu Qiqi in silence, and in the end, tears streamed down his face. I really didn't know that those animals would do such an inhumane thing again. It's all our fault. We don't have other children. Otherwise, why would we send Jiyu away? Little girl, what do you want to know? I'll tell you everything I know. Other than this time, did the couple think of any other way to deal with Xiao Jiyu? Mu Qiqi asked because she wanted to find out the couple's motive as much as possible. Yes, the old grandpa answered without thinking and reached out to wipe his tears. A few months ago, the two of them wanted to sell Xiao Jiyu. I told them that Xiao Jiyu was seriously ill, so the buyer gave up on the idea of buying the child. Then can you still remember their information? Even if it's just a name or a phone number? Yes, I can tell you. Quickly call the police to catch those scumbags who kidnapped the child. Mu Qiqi looked into the old man's eyes. His wrinkled eyes were filled with helplessness and helplessness. I will definitely let you reunite with Xiao Jiyu. No matter what you want us to identify, as long as my old bones can still move, I will definitely help you. Although they had learned about the vicious actions of the scumbag couple from various aspects, they still lacked the most crucial and direct evidence. It would be even better if they could find their accounts and illegal income. We also want to avenge my brother, so Grandpa, we will do our best. Moreover, my brother also said that if Jiayu can get out of danger, he will help her treat her illness and support her until she grows up. After hearing Mu Qiqi's words, the old grandpa trembled violently. In the end, he knelt in front of Mu Qiqi. Thank you. Thank you so much. Grandpa, get up quickly. Mu Qiqi quickly helped him up. You must take care of your health during this period of time. I will definitely. Mu Qiqi could not bear to see the old man leave, so she asked Su Che to send him off. You can help me now, but you can't help me forever. I'll help as much as I can. Mu Qiqi sighed. After dissecting corpses for a long time, I've realized something. That is to cherish life crazily. Although it's normal to be old, weak, sick, and disabled, you still have to live to see the day when your fate changes. If you die, there's nothing left. You can't even take revenge. Su Che did not say anything. He followed Mu Qiqi's instructions and sent the old man back to his home. His wife was still lying on the bed, unable to take care of herself. Su Che did not say anything. He quietly left some money for the two old men and quietly left. The preciousness of life could only be experienced by those who truly had feelings. Mu Qiqi got the name and contact information of the buyer, who wanted to buy Xiao Jiayu from the old man, and sent it to senior brother Long. She wanted to know if this person had a criminal record. After being verified by senior brother Long, the two of them were currently serving their sentences in prison. As long as they brought him to trial, they would be able to investigate this case. But even so, even if they found these things, they were still lacking. They were lacking the most crucial evidence. Mu Qiqi collected these things. After carefully organizing them, she brought the information back to Zhongting. In fact, relying on these, especially the case where they wanted to sell Jiayu, she could detain these two scumbags. However, she still wanted to find the most crucial evidence. This way, she could hit the nail on the head and not give the other party any chance to resist. Let me see the results of your hard work, without even going to class. Sheng Xiao put down the documents beside him, and beckoned Mu Qiqi to his side. I've found the witness and the motive for the murder, but I'm still lacking the most direct evidence. Mu Qiqi was a little depressed. Sheng Xiao looked at the information she had organized, and kept stroking her hair. Enough, it's enough. What's enough? Mu Qiqi looked at Sheng Xiao in surprise. Because I've already found the evidence you want for you. Sheng Xiao smiled. Are you serious? Yes. Sheng Xiao pulled her to sit on his lap. Since they were manipulated by someone, they must have received some benefits. It's too obvious to find the bank account, so cash transactions are the safest way. So, I guess that the two of them hid the money. So I found the neighbors and spread the rumor that they found the cash. When the couple heard it, they thought that their money had been taken away. They panicked and immediately went to the place where they hid the money to confirm. So they were exposed. After Mu Qiqi heard this, her gaze became even more surprised. When did you arrange this? Why didn't I know? Also, how do you know that they won't hide the money at home? Before you went to bed last night, Sheng Xiao answered. As for why they didn't hide the money at home, it's because they're still a little afraid of the police. If the money is found at home, they'll be caught red-handed. If it's somewhere else, they can still deny it to the death. Sheng Xiao answered, which was when he saw the couple deliberately waiting for Sheng Bowen in the surveillance footage. Then how did you? After being spread by others, do you think someone would deliberately dig for the treasure? This couple values money as much as their life. After weighing the pros and cons, where do you think they will move the money? They're afraid of being found by others, so they'll return home. Now that the police are there, they'll really be caught red-handed. Mu Qiqi suddenly became excited. Xiao Xiao, I'm deeply impressed by your brain. If you know that you're convinced, then be obedient, Mu Qiqi hugged the man's neck, her heart full of admiration. There's one more thing I want to ask you. Mu Qiqi stood up with a serious expression. No matter how I look at it, I feel that the couple doesn't want Xiao Jiyu to live. So I've thought of a way. Can we switch Xiao Jiyu out and arrange for her to be in another safe ward? It was very sad to see Xiao Jiyu's grandfather in the morning. I'll get Su Che to arrange it. Sheng Xiao agreed to the little one's request. That's about it. We can call the police. There's no hurry. Tonight, the couple will meet the reporters and accept an interview. At that time, we'll give them a big gift. It can be considered a counterattack to the person behind them. Chapter 778. I know you want to care, but now you're not capable enough. You have to train slowly, okay? Mu Qiqi looked at Sheng Xiao's handsome face, and almost couldn't help but have a nosebleed. Yes, I'll learn obediently. Since she was 17, she had been influenced by this man and educated by him. But even after a few years, she had only learned a little of this man's skills. Then I'll focus on watching the show tonight. Sheng Xiao nodded and put down the little one. He let her go to the side to read, or go back to school to apologize. Mu Qiqi thought that she couldn't focus on her classes before the scumbags were brought to justice. So, she stayed in Zhongting's office and accompanied Sheng Xiao until it was time to get off work. On the other hand, Sheng Bowen had also heard that the couple was going to be interviewed. He also understood that the two of them had bad intentions. The content of the interview would definitely damage Huang Yao's reputation once again. Of course, the public relations department of Huang Yao had also arranged a briefing about this incident. Tomorrow morning, he would personally appear to apologize. However, in the past 2 days, he had been put in a difficult position by the board of directors. However, if this was what Sheng Kai wanted to achieve, then he might have to disappoint him. After all, although his ability was mediocre among his brothers, he was the most resilient. He was completely unlike Sheng Kai, who couldn't stand the stimulation. He could still withstand this bit of pressure. However, he didn't expect to see Mu Qiqi at the entrance of Huang Yao when he left the company with Ren Yufei after work. The couple looked at each other and quickly went up to her. "Why are you here?" "I'm not the only one. Someone is here too." Mu Qiqi gestured for him to look outside, but she saw that Sheng Xiao was staying in the car. He didn't want to cause a commotion. "We told the old man that we're going to the Sheng family for dinner, so we came to pick you up on the way. Since you're here, why don't you go up? Looking at your new products. I can't help but sigh. I'm getting further and further away from these things. I don't have the fortune to enjoy them." Mu Qiqi pouted. "Get in the car." Sheng Bowen drove in front while Ren Yufei followed behind Mu Qiqi. She looked like she wanted to say something but hesitated. "Xiao Qi, third sister-in-law? I really can't help with your third brother's matter. I'll have to trouble you guys for everything." Ren Yufei had been blaming herself for the past 2 days, because she could only watch helplessly and worry. Mu Qiqi turned around and looked at her for a moment. Then she said, "I told third brother not only to protect your body, but also your heart. It seems that he is still a blockhead. He actually gave you the time to let your imagination run wild. Don't worry, you are third brother's wife. No one will blame you. Not to mention you. Even the old man can't help. Isn't he also anxious? Could it be that he and third brother aren't close?" After hearing this, Ren Yufei burst out laughing. Only this girl was quirky and likable. Of course, with her comfort, Ren Yufei also heaved a sigh of relief. Indeed, there were some things that she could not help with, but it did not mean that she was worthless. She could play a role in other places, so why should she worry about it? Soon, Sheng Bowen brought the car over. The 2 women got into their respective men's cars. However, along the way, Sheng Bowen noticed that his wife's expression was much more relaxed. "Did you chat with Qiqi just now?" "Yes, I'm in a better mood." Because of this, Sheng Bowen was unhappy. "So my comfort is so useless. I was just too worried," Ren Yufei explained. "I'm sorry, I was too stubborn. I won't do it in the future." Sheng Bowen snorted, but he was not really angry. Soon, the 4 of them entered the Sheng family's iron gate. Mu Qiqi stood in front of the door and had a lot of thoughts. "I said before that I would never step into this house again. But I didn't expect that I would slap myself in the face so many times. In the past, everyone recognized 8th brother as the person Grandpa doted on the most. But now, how can the old man leave you?" Speaking of this, Mu Qiqi was a little proud. "Since you've said so, I'll reluctantly do it." It had been a long time since the old man had seen Mu Qiqi. Although he always said that the girl was annoying and smart like a monkey, when he really saw her, his eyes were filled with joy. Originally, the atmosphere in the Sheng family should have been heavy because of Sheng Bowen's matter. However, because of Mu Qiqi's appearance, the old man was even happier and excited than before. These days, 6th brother no longer looked for trouble with Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi. However, he was not used to the way the old man doted on Mu Qiqi, so he poured cold water on him. "Grandpa, I'm afraid you don't know. Tonight, that couple will be interviewed by the reporters." In other words, he didn't have to be so happy. "So be it. We won't shirk our responsibilities. Don't tell me that I still need to kneel and cry for them." Old Master Sheng snorted. "Everyone, let's eat. There's a good show to watch at 7 o'clock in the evening. Xiao Xiao and I didn't come here for this meal. We came here to have some fun with you." Mu Qiqi picked up her bowl and chopsticks, completely unruly. "You only know how to be mysterious." Hearing 6th brother's muttering, Mu Qiqi tilted her head to look at him and said, "I also know how to dissect a corpse and draw a chevron on a person's chest." 6th brother's expression changed as he thought about it. He ran straight to the bathroom. In the past, if the old man had heard this, he would have thrown Mu Qiqi out of the Sheng family. Now he didn't care at all. His old face was full of joy. Let's eat. Ignore him. No one knew what kind of good show was about to unfold in the hospital. The Sheng family was probably still waiting for another storm. So, if Mu Chichi hadn't come, who knew how depressing this meal would have been? 7 o'clock in the evening. The news reporters went to the hospital to interview the victims of the car accident. They were Jiayu's parents in name, but in reality, they were her uncle and aunt. The two of them stood in front of Xiao Jiayu's ward. The woman kept crying with red eyes. How is the child's condition from the accident until now? What did Huang Yao say? The reporters asked through their microphones. The child is very unstable. After she was hit, she was still resuscitated once. If the child left, I wouldn't want to live either. As for that unscrupulous company, they didn't care about it. Not only did they not apologize and compensate us, but they even came to the hospital yesterday to question us. Why was the child resuscitated again? Were we trying to extort money from them? I really don't understand why the police haven't arrested such an unscrupulous company. Chapter 779. Take responsibility. Hitting a child and running away, that's fleeing, that's a crime. If they were willing to take responsibility, they wouldn't have run away after the accident. The woman said in a shrill voice. But there are also rumors that Huang Yao has already sent someone over to deal with the compensation. It was you who refused to communicate with the other party. My daughter's life is worth $1,000. I'm not doing this for money. Let me tell you, I don't want a single cent. I just want the person who hurt my daughter to pay the price and be punished by the law. So I've already found a lawyer. I won't let the murderer who hurt my daughter get away with it. The reporters heard the voice of the person in question and felt that she was a great mother. She could give up everything as long as she could get justice for the child. It was also because of this that the outside world's hatred for Huang Yao was even stronger. Why couldn't a big company shoulder the responsibility that it should? It was the first time the reporters had seen this woman, so they were deceived. However, the nurses in the hospital knew what the couple looked like. So when they heard the interview when they passed by, they just wanted to roll their eyes to the sky. Who on earth didn't want the little girl to live? The people of Huang Yao had done everything they wanted to do. But this woman? She was mean and unkind. When she was taking care of the child, she disappeared. When she was about to go on television, she ran faster than anyone else. It was because of this interview that the outside world was scolding Huang Yao. Because it involved a child, many celebrities also came to participate in the scolding war and crusade against Huang Yao. They had no corporate spirit at all. I swear here that I won't accept any financial help. I only hope that the guilty will be punished. I hope that everyone can be my witness. What a strong and great mother. This woman's acting skills were almost comparable to a movie queen's. However, before the interview was really over, a group of police officers appeared in the corridor of the hospital. Moreover, in front of the reporters' cameras, they walked directly in front of the woman and took out the arrest warrant. The police suspect that you are related to a murder case. Now, please come back with us to the police station to cooperate with the investigation. The reporters and the couple were stunned on the spot. Officer, you must have made a mistake. If you don't arrest the driver, why are you arresting us, the victim? Stop acting here. The police already have sufficient evidence, and will release it to the public later. The leading police officer had his subordinates take out handcuffs and officially arrest the couple. Such a situation caught the reporter off guard. So before the police left, the reporter quickly chased after them. Officer, can you reveal more information? Why is the victim's family being arrested instead? I'm sorry, we can't do that right now. The police will inform us later. It's not what you think. Please investigate the facts before reporting. Don't wrongly accuse innocent people. After saying that, the police officers got into the car and left. The reporters who were left behind were at a loss. However, the interview still had to continue, so the reporters went to ask some doctors and nurses in the hospital. Some of the doctors said that they did not know anything, but the nurse who was taking care of Jiyu told the reporters, "It's not what that woman said." On the night of the girl's accident, the person in charge of Huang Yao came over to express his condolences. He brought the insurance commissioner and a lawyer to ask the girl's family what help they needed. It was that woman who was unwilling to communicate and chased them out. Of course, it's understandable that she was angry in that situation. But the key is that the child is seriously ill and has been receiving treatment in our hospital. She wasn't allowed to leave the hospital in the first place. She wanted to forcefully take the child out. Now that something has happened to the child, aren't you responsible? That woman kept saying that she didn't accept Huang Yao's help. But from the moment the child was admitted to the hospital, it was Huang Yao who settled the accounts. There are records in the hospital, and we can find out who is responsible for the various expenses. This is the first time I've seen such a person lying through her teeth. The nurse was very ashamed of the couple's actions. The reporter's expression was a little ugly. She had almost cried for that great mother just now, but she did not expect to be slapped in the face in just a few seconds. Also, these aren't the child's parents. The child's parents died early. These are the child's uncle and aunt. So she's not their biological daughter. Of course not. The nurse was young and stubborn. She had a hint of abhorrence of evil. If it were a senior who was interviewed, he would definitely keep his mouth shut for fear of being held accountable by the hospital. But she was not afraid. In this world, there had to be someone who dared to speak the truth. But no one knew why the victim's family was taken away by the police in the middle of the interview. This matter had been exaggerated, and it was entirely Huang Yao's fault. But now that the victim's family was taken away, the case suddenly became confusing. In the end, the reporter concluded the interview. From the current information, it seems that there has been a reversal. We have also interviewed the traffic police in charge. The police told us that because it involved a hit and run, the accident certificate will only be released within 10 working days. But why the victim's family was taken away by the police is still an unanswered question. But the police have already indicated that they will announce the progress of the case as soon as possible. So we can only continue to wait. Then the scene of the news changed. Grandpa Sheng looked at Sheng Bowen, and then at Mu Qiqi. What was going on? Aren't you going to give me an answer? Sheng Bowen also looked at Mu Qiqi and Sheng Xiao. He really did not know about this matter. At that time, he went to deal with the lawyer, and left the rest to Mu Qiqi. He did not expect things to be handled so quickly. Qiqi, what exactly is going on? Sheng Bowen also asked Mu Qiqi. It's like what you saw. Mu Qiqi smiled and said, I just ran errands and collected some witnesses. Xiao Xiao used his brain, and got the most important evidence. That couple deliberately waited for you for a few days, wanting to frame you. They wanted to get rid of the burden while extorting money. They are inhumane. Mu Qiqi said with a smile. I see. Sheng Bowen nodded, then pointed at himself and said, It seems that for the rest of my life, I will have to work like a horse for the two of you. Don't be happy too early. Although the couple has been arrested, the fact that you escaped still can't be washed away. Xiao Xiao said that he has already found you an authoritative lawyer in this area. When the time comes, you will have a tough battle to fight. With you guys around, what do I have to be afraid of? Even if there is really no way to redeem it, I will accept it. Pfft. Does that sound like something a descendant of the Sheng family would say? Grandpa Sheng snorted. Grandpa, I'm just expressing that I have no regrets. With Xiao Xiao around, you won't have to go to jail. Chapter 780. In the police station, the couple was locked up in 2 separate interrogation rooms. At the beginning, their attitude was extremely arrogant. What right do you have to arrest us? We are the victims. Did you take the other party's money? I'm telling you, let us go immediately. We are innocent. We are the victims. Victims? The interrogating police officer took the information and entered the interrogation room. He sat down in front of the woman. If I were you, I would immediately take back my words and cut off my own tongue. What law did we break? Don't you know what law you broke? What did you do on November 27th last year? Do you need us to recall it for you? The interrogating police officer tapped his fingers on the table and asked. Last year, the woman muttered to herself. Then, she suddenly came to a realization. It seems that you've remembered. Very well. Jean in prison have already confessed to your deal. It's useless for you to deny it. This is only one of your crimes. Now let's count your second crime, intentional homicide. Hearing the words intentional homicide, the woman immediately went limp and denied. There's no such thing. I didn't kill anyone. Is that so? The interrogating police officer printed a few key points in the surveillance video into pictures and held them up for the woman to see. After processing by the criminal investigators, these pictures have been magnified countless times and are high definition and uncensored. What were you doing when you crossed the road? Tell me. The woman turned her head and did not dare to look at the pictures. Let me tell you the cruel truth. You pushed your niece because you knew whose car she was going to hit. The police checked the surveillance footage for the past 10 days and found that you had been waiting at that section of the road. You saw that they had money and wanted to extort money from them, right? The woman lowered her head and did not dare to speak. Her palms and forehead were covered in cold sweat. It doesn't matter if you still don't confess. Anyway, the police have already found the cash you obtained from your home. The witness and material evidence are all there. The fact that you intended to murder your niece can't be denied. You continue to bear the blame. Your husband has already confessed. When the time comes, the court will give you a lighter sentence. As for you, just keep silent. Don't say a word until you die. After saying that, the interrogating police officer got up from his seat, as if he did not care about the woman's confession, because the final result would be the same. But this woman was afraid, especially after hearing that her husband had confessed. This woman was terrified to the extreme. Finally, she could only say, "Officer, I'll confess. I'll confess everything." In fact, a woman's mentality was naturally more fragile than a man's. It was easy to break through. The man next door was still keeping his mouth shut. It didn't matter. As long as one side confessed, everything would be fine. However, the interrogation lasted until 11 o'clock at night. The police reaped a bountiful harvest and set out overnight to arrest the person who paid for the murder. Xiao, do you think that the police will be able to trace back to Sheng Kai? On the way back to the banyan courtyard, Mu Qiqi asked Sheng Xiao. Sheng Xiao shook his head and said with certainty, "Of course not. The person behind Sheng Kai is not someone who only knows how to do things. All he needs to do is find someone to take the blame. He can just say that he has a grudge against Huang Yao and the Sheng family, and everything will be clear. The Sheng family has stirred up so much trouble, and you're just letting Sheng Kai watch the show? Not necessarily," Sheng Xiao said with a hidden meaning. The person behind Sheng Kai was indeed cautious and meticulous in his work. He had arranged everything into a perfect circle. His hands, on the other hand, were clean. However, don't forget about Bai Sini's case. Since he had made the Sheng family unhappy, he had to return the favor no matter what. Only then would he let the other party know that he was not to be trifled with. You still have a backup plan, right? No, I can only leave the rest to the lawyer. Sheng Xiao would not tell Mu Qiqi about the operation he had planned with Tang Yan, because it was too dangerous. Mu Qiqi obediently did not ask further. We've already done what we can. Next, it's up to the lawyer. This couple has been arrested. I've fulfilled my promise to Grandpa and allowed him to reunite with Xiao Jiyu. Although the couple had been arrested, the child was not out of danger yet and had to stay in the hospital. However, her grandparents could be visited up close. The next day, the police arrived at Huang Yao. Rin Yufei was very nervous when she saw the police, but Sheng Bowen smiled at her. "Don't worry, they're not here to arrest me. You're really? Invite them in and then arrange for tea." The reason why the police came to Huang Yao was because the mastermind that the couple had confessed to was a manager who had been fired from Huang Yao. Because he had always hated Sheng Bowen, he had planned such an incident. His goal was to send Sheng Bowen to prison. CEO Sheng, the police have found out all the facts and will disclose the whole story of the case as soon as possible to clear your name. However, you still have to face investigation for escaping. I understand. Sheng Bowen nodded. Regardless of whether the couple had framed him or not, he had hurt the child after all. Moreover, so many people had seen him drive away. It was not something that he could clear up with just a few words. What a crazy couple. No matter what, I'll accept your investigation at any time, Sheng Bowen said frankly. Since that's the case, our mission is complete. Thank you for your hard work. Sheng Bowen stood up and shook hands with them. After the police went to Huang Yao, they announced the whole story of the case and prepared to answer the public's doubts. Why did they take the couple away from the reporters last night? According to the police report, the whole thing was a trap planned by the couple. On one hand, they wanted to blackmail Huang Yao, and on the other hand, they wanted to get rid of the burden of the child. During the interview last night, they had been so confident. But in the end, in vain I shed tears for this woman. I thought she was strong and great. I didn't expect to be disgusted so quickly. She's really not a good person. I finally figured it out. The child has leukemia. So the couple tried every means possible to kill the child and extort a sum of money. What a good plan. I didn't expect there to be such a vicious person in this world. It's really an eye-opener for us. F***CK. The president of Huang Yao must have had 8 lifetimes of bad luck to be targeted by this couple, and even succeeded in their scheme. Chapter 781. The television news reported about Sheng Bowen's car accident one after another, and the voices of the outside world against Huang Yao became much quieter. Seeing that Sheng Xiao and the others had easily solved Huang Yao's problem, Sheng Kai felt rather uncomfortable. For some reason, Sheng Bowen's ability was mediocre. Why could he always turn misfortune into fortune? It was as if everyone was rushing to help him solve his problems. What was this? In the past, he had worked so hard for Huang Yao and his grandfather. He could give up anything, but in the end, now it was like a complete joke. Perhaps the Sheng family had never treated him as a member of their family. Because of this, Sheng Kai called Jin Bo. His tone was a little unconvinced. Godfather, Sheng Bowen is fine. It's still unknown whether he's fine or not. Why are you so impatient? Jin Bo patiently educated him. But, just wait and see, child. The best part is yet to come. You have to know that the lawyer Sheng Xiao hired from abroad to defend Sheng Bowen is my student. After he arrived in Jianchuan last night, he called me. After Sheng Kai heard this, he realized something and quickly said to Jin Bo, "If that's the case, then I'll have to trouble you to pay attention to this matter, Godfather. I said that I'll give my godson a big gift. I won't let you down." This way, Sheng Kai was relieved. No matter how much Sheng Xiao planned, he would never have expected that he would be sending a sheep into a tiger's den by hiring a lawyer for Sheng Bowen. If Sheng Bowen found out about this in the future, would he hate Sheng Xiao to the bone? The next afternoon, Sheng Xiao arranged to meet the lawyer. As the lawyer had handled many cases similar to Sheng Bowen's, he was very experienced in such cases. Sheng Xiao arranged lunch near Zhongting. It seemed like he wanted to personally discuss the case with the lawyer, but in fact, he did not need to understand how a lawyer could win a case. He had spent money to hire someone to do the most professional thing. He did not need to do it himself. The reason why he insisted on meeting this lawyer was because he had to confirm that he could be trusted. After Mu Qiqi heard about it, she also wanted to meet this person. So, she ran out during the school lunch break and went straight to the restaurant Sheng Xiao had arranged. He was 27 or 28 years old. He was good-looking and had a face that girls liked. He was also very fashionable. He was wearing a dark green suit and looked very pleasing to the eye. When Sheng Xiao saw Mu Qiqi appear, he hooked his finger at her. Mu Qiqi conveniently sat beside him, picked up his coffee cup and started drinking without any distinction between them. "I ran all the way here. Forgive me." Sheng Xiao took the opportunity to remove a leaf from Mu Qiqi's head. The two of them were very intimate, and it was obvious that they couldn't bear to be apart. Then, the waiter filled Mu Qiqi's bowl and chopsticks. "Hello, Mr. Lawyer." "Hello." The lawyer sitting opposite them replied with a smile. "This is my wife. Don't mind her, Lawyer Shen. She just likes to join in the fun." Sheng Xiao finished the introduction in a few words, then gestured for Mu Qiqi to focus on eating and not interrupt. "This is my wife. Don't mind her, Lawyer Shen. She just likes to join in the fun." Sheng Xiao introduced her in a few words and gestured for Mu Qiqi to focus on eating and not interrupt. "Mrs. Sheng is a famous person in Jianchuan. Seeing you today, you're indeed impressive. Lawyer Shen said in a gentlemanly manner. Of course, his words aroused Mu Qiqi's interest. I didn't know I was so famous. Of course, the other party might not have noticed. I've heard a lot of stories. Didn't you want to talk about third brother? How's the conversation going? Mu Qiqi quickly changed the topic. Just as she was about to continue, someone's face changed again. I want to look at the information in detail and the police's accident report, so we can't come to any conclusion now. Lawyer Shen answered Mu Qiqi naturally. Mu Qiqi glanced at him, and then at Sheng Xiao. So she had come for nothing? Don't worry, Mrs. Sheng. Since I've taken over this case, I'll definitely give you a satisfactory answer. It was easy for smart people to speak. The three of them had lunch together happily. Then Lawyer Shen left because of other cases. Is it really reliable to hand third brother's case to him? Mu Qiqi asked Sheng Xiao as she watched him leave. There's no other suitable candidate at the moment. I trust the Sheng family's lawyer more. Mu Qiqi only said this sentence. It seemed to be unintentional, but Sheng Xiao heard it. Since you've already arranged this matter, I'll also apply for leave from you. The school has organized a spring outing. We'll set off tomorrow morning. It'll be 2 days and 1 night. Tomorrow night, you'll have to be alone in your room. What kind of event? Where will it be held? It's at the nearby resort. I didn't want to go at first, but the dean did me a big favor for third brother's matter. I can't not participate in every event every year, so I could only agree. Sheng Xiao wanted to take care of all the expenses for Mu Qiqi's team in one go, but after thinking about it, he didn't do so. Don't you have class in the afternoon? Aren't you in a hurry? Mu Qiqi looked at the time and quickly left. There's no time. We'll talk tonight. With this thing by her side, it really alleviated a lot of the boredom in her life. But not long after the two of them left, a black car drove out of the alley. The person in the car was controlling the steering wheel while making a phone call. I've met him. You don't have to worry, teacher. I know what to do. It was said that Sheng Xiao loved to play games. Since that was the case, let's see if he had a chance of winning this round. Could he drag Sheng Bowen, who already had half a leg in prison, out of the mess? It was already evening. Mu Qiqi returned home from school and saw that Mama Sheng and Sheng Xiao had returned from abroad. It seemed that the world of the two of them was coming to an end. Xiaoqi, come quickly. Mommy brought you a gift from abroad. Mama Sheng took out a small box from her room, as if she was presenting a treasure. See if you like it. Mu Qiqi opened it and found that it was a set of dissection knives. Mama Sheng was probably the only one who would give her daughter-in-law knives. However, Mu Qiqi would like Mama Sheng. Thank you, Mommy. I'll use it well. Mu Qiqi touched it lovingly. It was really a good thing. After all, she didn't lack anything. That was why Mama Sheng would remember what she needed the most. I've heard about third brother's matter. Is it solved now? Mu Qiqi shook her head. I'm still waiting for the accident liability report. It's also hard on that child. She encountered all kinds of bad luck. You and eighth brother must help her. Why are you back so soon? Why didn't you play for a few more days? I haven't had enough alone time with this thing. Chapter 782. Don't be heartless. We came back in a hurry, because we saw the news about third brother. Your father still can't let go of Huang Yao. Mama Sheng sat on the sofa. Have you found a lawyer for third brother? Xiao Xiao found an authoritative expert in this area. Mu Qiqi quickly answered. Then we're relieved. But who is the crazy person behind this? We're still investigating. Mu Qiqi answered Mama Sheng. This matter was definitely related to Sheng Kai, but it was not Sheng Kai's style of doing things at all. So they wanted to know who the master was after Sheng Kai was killed. That was why they wanted to know who the master was after Sheng Kai was killed. Although Bai Sini's case was getting further and further away, Mu Qiqi could still think of that cold body. She could not get it out of her mind. At night, after dinner, Mu Qiqi saw that Sheng Xiao had called Sheng Bowen, so she walked to his desk. Sure enough, she saw Lawyer Shen's resume on his desk. Mu Qiqi flipped through a few pages and sighed in her heart. It was really rich and exciting. How did he achieve such a high winning rate at such a young age? Could he be a genius? From the looks of it, it should be very easy for third brother's case to be in his hands. Sheng Xiao turned around and saw Mu Qiqi sitting in his seat. He pulled her up and placed her on his lap. Since you've seen it, are you relieved? What's there to be worried about when it's you? Mu Qiqi expressed her highest trust in Sheng Xiao. I'll leave early tomorrow morning. Let's rest early tonight? You just want to rest early? Sheng Xiao pinched her chin and asked with a faint smile. Just tell me if you want it or not. Mu Qiqi admitted defeat. It seemed that no matter how long it had been, she had never been teased by this man. Whenever he teased her, her face would turn red and her mind would go blank. What do you want? Forget it, I'm going to take a shower. Mu Qiqi was also angry and got up from Sheng Xiao's body. However, before she could take 2 steps, the man picked her up. Is it so difficult to say that you want me? Do you think women are like you men? Shameless. Then you still dare to think about it. It's not against the law to think about it, Mu Qiqi thought to herself. As it was a big gift for Sheng Kai, Jin Bo wanted Sheng Kai and Lawyer Shen to get to know each other. He also wanted Sheng Kai to arrange for Lawyer Shen's food, clothing, housing, and transportation. Sheng Kai knew that this was a great Buddha who could make him happy. So at first glance he politely and thoughtfully said to him, I've already arranged a 5-star hotel for you, Lawyer Shen. I've also arranged a car for you. If you need anything else, just let me know. I only live in a villa, and I can't stand the noise. My car doesn't need to be too good. I can drive a Phantom, but I'm afraid of being lonely at night. So it's best to arrange for a beauty to accompany me. As for other requests, I haven't thought of them yet. You go ahead and arrange it. When Sheng Kai heard this, his tone immediately became a little uncomfortable. Lawyer Shen, don't tell me that Jianchuan can't even provide me with these things. If that's the case, I might as well go back to America. What are you talking about? Since it's Lawyer Shen's request, of course, I will try my best to satisfy it. Sheng Kai looked perfunctory on the surface, but in fact, he had already despised the other party 1,000 times in his heart. He's just a lawyer. What's so great about him? Yet he asked for the same treatment as the president. Was Godfather really not joking with him? If it weren't for my teacher's request, I wouldn't have wasted this time at all. So CEO Sheng, you don't have to feel wronged. Do you still want the 3rd young master of the Sheng family, the person in charge of Huang Yao, to be in prison? If you want it, you'd better listen to me. What could Sheng Kai say? He could only do as he was told. I'm also asking for help. CEO Sheng of Zhongting has already arranged for an international chef to welcome me. Do you know that you're already in slow motion? Sheng Kai endured it silently, because the other party was here to help. As long as he thought that Sheng Bowen was about to go to prison, his mood seemed to be a little better. Sometimes I really wonder how you and Sheng Xiao became brothers. However, it's also possible that I misjudged Sheng Xiao's ability. Maybe he's just a facade. This little genius lawyer seemed to be fully confident in his own abilities. Although Sheng Kai was unhappy, he still followed the other party's request and arranged for a big villa and a celebrity to accompany him. What the hell? The next day, Mu Qiqi woke up early. It was the first time she saw Sheng Xiao sleeping soundly. So she leaned on the bed and kissed his forehead. This man was so charming even when he was asleep. Then she packed her things and went to the university. This time, the entire forensic science faculty was mobilized. In fact, there were activities on usual days, but Mu Qiqi had never participated in them. So, her appearance this time surprised the forensic science faculty. The activity was arranged at a resort on the outskirts of Jianchuan. It was near the seaside with beautiful scenery, and was suitable for a group trip. However, Mu Qiqi felt a little awkward sitting in the car. If Feng Shanshan was still here, she would still have a companion. But now, she did not even have someone to talk to. So she decided to cover her head and sleep. But soon, someone poked her elbow. Qiqi, it's a long journey. Why don't you tell us a few cases to broaden our horizons? Now, you're the only one in the faculty who has seen those legendary giant views. Tell us so that we'll be mentally prepared. Mu Qiqi opened her eyes and felt bored, so she said, no matter how much mental preparation you do, you'll still vomit when you see it because the smell is too charming. You've been involved in so many cases, especially the case where teenagers killed each other. It was too exciting. Tell us about the process. I've almost forgotten about that case. I only remember Baisini's case now, Muchichi replied softly. No matter how bad that case was, it could still be solved, but Baisini's injustice. Didn't that close the case as suicide? It's broad daylight. Can you guys not talk about these creepy things? Let's talk about some gossip. For example, the recently popular talent show star was photographed entering a certain villa last night and doing something indescribable with a mysterious man. It's a pity that the paparazzi didn't take a picture of this man's face. Otherwise, it would definitely prove that he's a handsome man. The group of people passed the photo around, and it soon reached Muchichi's hands. Muchichi was naturally not interested in such things. She only glanced at it. Chapter 783. Soon, the group arrived at the entrance of the resort. Muchichi got out of the car, and the boys in the faculty helped carry the girls' luggage. At that moment, a tall and thin boy walked up to Muchichi and said mysteriously to her, "You can't find out." Muchichi did not understand what he meant. Baisini's case. With that, he carried his luggage and quickly walked to the front of the crowd, leaving Muchichi frowning and feeling a little puzzled. Then the students checked in. Muchichi and a forthright girl were assigned to a room. When checking in, Muchichi asked the girl, "Sheng Nan, what's the name of the tall and thin boy in front? The one in the blue shirt?" "You mean Stallion? Li Kongwen, you don't even know this?" The girl looked at her in surprise. They had been classmates for 1 or 2 years. As expected, other than Sheng Xiao, she only had eyes for corpses. Muchichi thought about it and felt that it was necessary to have a chat with him. Therefore, when it was lunchtime, Muchichi found him in the resort's buffet restaurant and followed behind him. "Can we talk for a while?" Li Kongwen turned to look at Muchichi, then at the students around him. He said indifferently, "I don't want others to misunderstand. I just want to figure out what you meant by what you said this morning. I don't mean anything special. Don't continue investigating Baisini's case. It won't do you any good." With that, he quickly left Muchichi's line of sight. Muchichi thought to herself, he had already said this much. How could he have no other meaning? Therefore, after choosing the dishes, she found Li Tsungwen's seat and sat opposite him. Muchichi had always been cold. In school, she had no friends and was used to doing things her own way. She felt that Lu Qianqian and the others were enough. If she had too many friends, it would delay the sweet time she had with Sheng Xiao. Therefore, in the past 2 years, she had almost no interaction with her classmates. However, those who were close to her felt that she was difficult to get along with. Muchichi did not use her power to bully others, and she was not arrogant or mean. She just did not like to communicate with others. In her eyes, there was only Sheng Xiao and professional courses. But this time, she actually went to look for Stallion. This made people suspect that she wanted to have an affair. However, was it possible to have an affair so blatantly now? Muchichi didn't care about other people's comments. She had always been magnanimous, but Jiang Shengnan didn't want to be talked about, so she walked over and reminded her, "You're a married woman now. Don't mess around. You're thinking too much. I just have some questions that I want to ask the Stallion." Muchichi answered her and gestured for her to return to her seat. Seeing this, Li Kongwen wanted to leave, but Muchichi grabbed his wrist. "Why do you say that Baisini's case can't be solved? Are you in such a hurry to die?" The other party was a little anxious and sighed. "There are some things that have to be done. Fear and avoidance are useless. Just tell me." Li Kongwen let out a long sigh and finally returned to his seat. "Because I tried." "Tried what?" "Find the murderer." Li Kongwen answered seriously. "I tried a year ago, but I caused my father to become disabled and my mother to lose an arm." Muchichi suddenly thought of old Cheng, who had been injured. The other party had also used this method to stop them from continuing the investigation. "Are you related to the previous case?" Muchichi immediately thought of the 3 previous victims of Changrong. "The last person who committed suicide was the product manager of Changrong, my sister." Li Kongwen replied, "She left a suicide note and abandoned our family. She took medicine and committed suicide. At that time, our family had clearly agreed to travel abroad and even booked the plane tickets. But she left. After she died, our family didn't believe that she committed suicide. So I went crazy and searched everywhere for evidence. Did you find it? I found a business card of a hotel in J City that she had been to. I immediately went over to ask, but the other party said that they didn't know anything. They also said that it had been too long, and the surveillance cameras had been cleared. I wanted to continue investigating, but it was at this time that my parents got into a car accident. I knew that this was a warning from the murderer. For the sake of my parents' safety, I could only give up. Do you still remember the name of that hotel? Muchichi asked. You guys should have been to J City, right? Yes. And then a senior brother was injured, so we returned empty-handed. Muchichi recalled that at that time, J City, especially Mama Bai, was hiding many secrets. However, there was no way to dig deeper, because everyone knew that if they took a step forward and crossed the line, it would be fate. I'll know once Bai Sini's case is closed. Li Kongwen smiled bitterly. I don't know who can uncover this case. At least, let me know who my enemy is. Have you told anyone else? Li Kongwen shook his head. Who? Since you told me, does it mean that you still hope that the police can make a breakthrough? Li Kongwen did not say anything. Perhaps it was because he heard Muchichi say that Bai Sini's case was still on her mind, so he felt that someone could finally understand the pain in his heart. Tell me the name of the hotel. Perhaps we'll have to find the other two victims to find out more information. I also believe that no matter how meticulously planned a crime is, the truth will come to light one day. Li Kongwen pondered for a moment. Finally, he took out a pen and paper from his school bag and told Muchichi the name of the hotel. There's one more thing. I don't know if it's a clue or if it'll be helpful to you. Because it was connected to my parents' incident, I think this person can't escape being involved. What else do you know? Muchichi was a little surprised. There were actually so many heavy things hidden in this person. When my parents got into a car accident, the court sentenced the driver, who caused the accident, to only bear 15% of the responsibility. It was clearly intentional homicide, but in the end, under the lawyer's clever argument, he was actually acquitted. I'll never forget that scene, and that young genius lawyer, for the rest of my life. After saying that, Li Kongwen wrote another name on the paper. Shenyu. How do you know that this lawyer is related to your sister's case? It's very simple. The driver who caused the accident had no money, so it was impossible for him to hire such a lawyer. The only explanation is that the murderer's people are responsible for the aftermath. Chapter 784. After saying that, Li Kongwen was about to leave, but Muchichi suddenly remembered something and pulled Li Kongwen back. Is your mother's surname Yao? How did you know? Why did she know? Because she had seen Lawyer Shun's so-called glorious resume last night. So when Li Kongwen mentioned this matter just now, she felt that it was very familiar. Coupled with the name Shinyu, it was definitely him. If what Li Kongwen said was the truth, then this Shinyu might be on the murderer's side. Now that Xiao Xiao had invited him to defend Shengbowen, could it be the other party's scheme? Thinking of this possibility, Muchichi suddenly felt terrified, and her hair stood on end. Although Sheng Kai had many thoughts in the past, he had never succeeded. Suddenly, there was someone with such terrifying thoughts online. Muchichi felt a chill run down her spine. It seems like you need time to sort things out. Li Kongwen saw that Muchichi did not speak and her expression was so complicated, so he knew that she needed time to digest it. Thank you, Weed. Muchichi nodded. Li Kongwen did not say anything else. He took his plate and moved to another place, leaving Muchichi alone. She was still sitting in her seat in a daze. She was trying to figure out what Li Kongwen had just said. Then she took out her phone, hid in her room, and called Sheng Xiao. Xiao Xiao, I just found out something. It might be a little complicated. Do you have time to listen to me now? I'll go over tonight. Tell me in person. After saying this, Sheng Xiao hung up the phone and said to the business partners on both sides of the conference table, I have to answer my wife's call. I'm sorry, let's continue. Muchichi put down her phone, her emotions extremely complicated. What kind of scheme was this? Why did so many people get involved? Why did so many murders happen? More importantly, Huang Yao seemed to be slowly being pulled into the scheme. A moment later, Jiang Shengnan returned to her room and sat on the single bed. She said to Muchichi, "The gossip about you and Wheat has already spread like wildfire in the faculty. Is there a need to say a few words?" "What do you mean by a few words?" "You held Weed's hand twice in total, and the two of you had complicated expressions on your face. Doesn't that seem like there's something going on?" Muchichi rolled her eyes and sat on the bed. She pointed at her face and said, "In my eyes, other than the one in my family, there's no man. So what are you guys doing this for?" "For an old case." Muchichi sighed. "He was a pitiful person. It's all your fault. Normally, you don't interact with others. So once you show special attention to someone, a bunch of people will say that you have a special relationship." Muchichi could not bear to listen to the rest of the conversation. A moment later, she suddenly reacted. "A certain someone said that he would come over tonight?" "Come where?" "To the resort. Everyone in the faculty is playing volleyball at the beach. Are you coming?" "Yeah." Muchichi nodded. Since she was already here, she didn't plan to be reserved anymore. Wasn't she here for the sake of their classmate relationship? So, Muchichi changed into sportswear and went to the beach with Sheng Nan. However, Li Tsungwen's words lingered in her mind. When they reached the beach, Muchichi lay comfortably on the beach and basked in the sun. However, a volleyball hit her and disrupted her thoughts. "Are you guys playing or beating people up?" With Jiang Xingnan's temper, she couldn't help but shout. "She's the one who wants to lie there. How can she blame others?" The man replied confidently. Only then did Muchichi realize that the ball was aimed at her. So, she picked up the ball and walked to Jiang Xingnan's side. "I'll team up with you. I'll play too. Are you sure?" Jiang Shengnan was a little doubtful. Could Muchichi play with her small body? Although she was already taller. "Trust me." The girl opposite the volleyball net was wearing a bikini in spring. Wasn't she afraid of catching a cold? It was obvious that she had done this for a purpose. She wanted to attract the man's attention. "You, if you like Li Kongwen, go ahead and confess. It's useless to hit me." After hearing Muchichi's words, the girl immediately blushed. "What nonsense are you talking about? I didn't do it on purpose just now." "You didn't do it on purpose, did you?" Muchichi glanced at Jiang Xingnan. "Come on. I'll show you what it means to really not do it on purpose." The 6 girls on one side were simply assigned positions. Muchichi wanted the free position and was responsible for receiving the serve and spiking the ball. As long as she got the chance, she would directly spike the ball at the girl in the bikini. "Muchichi, did you do it on purpose?" After a few exchanges, the other party got angry. "I was lying so far away just now. You didn't do it on purpose." "How could I do it on purpose?" Muchichi asked the other party in return. "Is it because I've maintained a good temper for a long time that you think I'm easy to bully?" The other party didn't say anything, because only she knew how strong Muchichi was. What a joke. Muchichi hadn't practiced boxing for nothing during this period of time. "You only dare to be so unscrupulous because you have Sheng Zhao's support. Muchichi, you're too arrogant. You're the one who wanted to bully me. When you realized that you couldn't bully me, you immediately replaced yourself as the weaker party. How did I bully you because of Sheng Zhao? Weren't you the first one to hit me with the ball?" Muchichi asked the other party in return. "Or am I being bullied and can't resist? You're a woman who can fool around when your man isn't by your side." Muchichi's gaze immediately darkened. However, she was stopped by Jiang Shengnan. "Give the dean some face. Don't blow things up. Then why are you dressed like this?" Chapter 785. This time, Sheng Xiao was not only there for Muchichi, but also because Zhongting had bought a piece of land by the sea and was developing it. Of course, a group of employees from the engineering department accompanied him. Most of the resorts near the sea were concentrated here. So Sheng Xiao asked his secretary to book the luxurious sea view room next to Muchichi's. After dinner, the secretary sent the room number to Muchichi's phone. After Muchichi saw it, she was too embarrassed to say that she was going out to stay, so she planned to wait for everyone to fall asleep before sneaking to the hotel next door. However, the students of the faculty were still barbecuing in the garden of the resort late at night. Muchichi waited for a long time, but she still could not go out. When Jiang Shengnan woke up, she saw that Muchichi had not washed up yet, so she propped herself up and asked, "Chichi, why aren't you sleeping yet?" "I'm still thinking about something." "You sleep first, go to sleep." Jiang Shengnan was still sleepy, so she fell back asleep. Under the yellow light, the entire room was very quiet. Outside the wide floor-to-ceiling windows was the endless sea and rugged viewing stones. Muchichi finally avoided everyone and came to Xing Zhao's side. As soon as she sat down, she said angrily, "You make it seem like I'm having an affair with someone. Aren't you here to have an affair? One during the day and one at night." Sheng Xiao raised his eyelids and said to her. Muchichi immediately understood that he knew about the rumors about her and Li Kongwen, so she leaned against Sheng Xiao in a fawning manner. "You believe those rumors? Did you grab his hand?" "I grabbed his sleeve, okay?" Muchichi retreated a little and defended herself. "Other than you, I don't treat any other man as a man." Sheng Xiao's expression was unclear. He unbuttoned his shirt and looked at the thing. "Don't you have something serious to say? Let's see what you can find out from your vacation." Li Tsongwen's sister is the previous victim of the Chongrong electronic suicide case. He was stopped and warned by the other party because he wanted to investigate the case. "I know," Sheng Xiao said calmly. "You know, don't forget, I've read all of Xin Yu's information. You're smart, but you're only careful in certain areas." Sheng Xiao took off his suit jacket and leaned against the sofa as he explained. "I've seen dozens of cases that Xin Yu has handled. Among them, I asked Su Che to look for information on the Li family's case and read the whole story. Then, do you know everything? Including the fact that this Shen Yu is a dangerous person?" Muchichi asked him in return. "Then you told me not to worry before." "I didn't want you to know, because I didn't want you to be suspicious. It was not that Shen Yu was not careful enough, but that he had underestimated his enemy. He thought that with so many cases, big and small, we wouldn't notice a victim like the Li family." Unfortunately, Sheng Xiao was surrounded by Muchichi and Tang Yan. As for the Chongrong electronics case, he had already read the information of several victims. Naturally, he could separate this case from them. Muchichi thought about it and felt that it was in line with Sheng Xiao's style of doing things. He was a man who always did things in a watertight manner. Since that's the case, you still asked him to defend third brother. You've sent away Xin Yu, and you don't know who else will come. So instead of doing that, you might as well keep it under your nose. Perhaps you can follow the clues and find out the relationship between Xin Yu and the other party. If you're lucky, you can even find out the other party's identity." That made sense. "In that case, I'll continue to pretend that I don't know and let Xin Yu continue acting. Then you also have a backup plan for third brother, right? You said that you trust the Sheng family's lawyer, so I asked him to make another set of preparations. So you're going to keep Xin Yu until the court hearing? That's exciting." Since the matter had been clarified, Muchichi was relieved. She had originally wanted to tell this man about it as soon as possible, but she did not expect him to know about it from the beginning to the end. Thinking of this, Muchichi complained, "You've been hiding a lot of things from me recently. If you want the Sheng family to be safe, you have to drag Shenkai out of the quagmire. Otherwise, sooner or later, he will become someone else's scapegoat and drag the entire Sheng family down with him. Forget it, I can't be bothered to argue with you. A man's heart is like a needle at the bottom of the ocean." After saying that, Muchichi got up from the sofa. "I'm going to take a shower. I'll serve you well later." Actually, Muchichi did not know that Jiang Shengnan had a habit of waking up at night. When she woke up and did not see Muchichi, she was shocked and quickly went out to look for her. However, there were still people barbecuing downstairs, and Muchichi was nowhere to be seen. Could it be that she really had an affair with Li Kongwen, as the girl had said during the day? The next day before dawn, Muchichi returned from outside and lay on the bed to continue sleeping. If she had known that it would be so hard, She would not have gone to sleep with that man. At around 8 in the morning, Jiang Xingnan woke up early and saw Mu Qiqi lying on the bed. She was puzzled. Where did this person come from? However, Mu Qiqi was not awake, so it was not appropriate for her to ask. After breakfast, the group of people were going to the stray cat and dog rescue station, not far from the resort, to volunteer. Fortunately, Mu Qiqi also liked animals, so she had no objections to the activity. However, on the way to the volunteer center, many people were whispering and discussing in private. However, after experiencing Mu Qiqi's tit for tat yesterday, no one dared to mention it to her. However, on Li Tsongwen's side, a classmate started joking. Last night, you and Mu Qiqi secretly met, right? What did you say? You even dared to snatch Sheng Zhao's woman. You're really something. Li Kongwen frowned and did not understand. I don't understand what you're talking about. I didn't leave my room last night. You still don't admit it. Someone saw Mu Qiqi sneaking out of her room last night. She clearly went out on a date. Who else could it be if not you? How would I know who she went to see? You really can't explain yourself. Li Kongwen was angry because he knew that he was innocent. These people were too good at making connections and gossiping. They could even link such a thing together. Mu Qiqi slept soundly and ignored the gossip. However, poor Jiang Shengnan was struggling in her heart. That was because many people had already come to ask her in the morning if she knew about Mu Qiqi secretly dating Li Kongwen last night. How would she know? Moreover, Mu Qiqi was indeed not in her room. She wanted to protect Mu Qiqi, but she felt that Mu Qiqi had done something she should not have done. She was struggling in her heart. Soon, the group arrived at the stray cat and dog rescue station. Not to mention girls. Even boys felt that these dirty animals were covered in viruses and bacteria, and did not dare to approach them. Chapter 786. Dean, I was born afraid of dogs. I want to go back to the car. Me too. Oh my god, this is too smelly. You guys are a group of geniuses who fell to the human world, aren't you? The dean waved his hand impatiently. Those who are afraid, go to the car and wait. I really believe you guys and think that you can serve society. This kind of scene was already very gentle for someone who was about to become a forensic doctor. The dean turned around to look at Mu Qiqi, and saw that she was squatting on the ground and playing with the cat. He asked Mu Qiqi, Qiqi, can you bathe the cat? Yes. People like Mu Qiqi were really strange. She was born in a rich family, and was the daughter of a rich family. She had a strong background, and was doted on by Sheng Xiao. However, she did not act like a rich young lady at all. She could do any dirty work with a roll-up of her sleeves, and did not care about her identity at all. Perhaps it was because of Mu Qiqi's attitude that the boys felt embarrassed. The group of them could only endure the stench, and go to the rescue station to bathe the cats and dogs. You're not delicate. The dean gave Mu Qiqi a thumbs up. If I really become a forensic doctor, there's no room for me to act coquettishly. The working environment of a forensic doctor is corrupt and dark to begin with. I should be grateful to be able to serve these little things. Mu Qiqi did not think much of it. She was holding a little white cat in her arms. That was because she saw the tags hanging around the animals' necks. In other words, they had indeed been vaccinated. Unfortunately, a group of people don't understand. The dean sighed. If they don't even have mercy for animals, how can they have respect for life? I also know that these people are just here to get a diploma. After they go out, who would still do such a dirty and smelly job? Especially girls. They can't bear this hardship at all. Of course you're different. Your vision is not something that others can compare to. The dean had high hopes for Mu Qiqi, which made Mu Qiqi understand the deeper meaning of the dean's actions. He made such an arrangement because he wanted to see the student's character and temperament. Of course, it was difficult for those who had not experienced hardships to understand the dean's conscience. As for the car, most of them were girls. When they saw Mu Qiqi helping at the rescue station, they felt uncomfortable. She likes to be in the limelight. This kind of dirty and smelly thing shouldn't be done by girls. That's right. She is favored by the dean, but she put us on the grill. What does the dean think of us? It's so disgusting. I even saw a lot of beasts with broken limbs. Although Jiang Shengnan felt that Mu Qiqi didn't do the right thing last night, she didn't think that these gossips made sense. So she stood up and said, "The reason why Qiqi isn't afraid of this is because she has seen all kinds of body parts in the forensics lab. Of course she wouldn't be afraid. But all of you are afraid of everything after studying forensics. Are you going to hide like this when you go out to the field to examine body parts?" With that, Jiang Xingnan took off her coat and prepared to get out of the car to look for Mu Qiqi. However, the girl in the bikini yesterday blocked Jiang Xingnan's way. Did Mu Qiqi go on a date with Li Kongwen last night? Don't tell me you don't know that you're sleeping next to her? Why should you worry about other people's private affairs? Jiang Xingnan asked her in return. She's a slut. She's clearly a married woman, but she's still fooling around. Someone saw Mu Qiqi sneaking out of the room last night, and only coming back before dawn. I don't believe that as her roommate, you don't know. If you're so curious, why don't you ask Li Kongwen? Ask him if he was with Mu Qiqi last night. Jiang Shengnan pushed her away. After all, she had the advantage of her figure. She couldn't stand being bullied by others. However, she couldn't answer Mu Qiqi's question. B*TCH. 2B* cheese. After Jiang Shengnan got out of the car, she went to Mu Qiqi's side. After watching her bathe the cat for a while, she asked, "Qiqi, you left the room last night, right?" "You found out." "I got up at night," Jiang Shengnan answered. "Did you go on a date with Li Kongwen? Otherwise, I really can't figure out why you went out in the middle of the night. Also, because of this matter, the girl who hit you with a ball yesterday was talking to someone in the car just now. She said that you're having an affair and fooling around." "I did sleep outside last night. In the hotel next door, my husband bought a piece of land here and came to patrol. He booked a sea view room and called me over. I didn't think it was good to stay out, so I didn't tell you," Mu Qiqi explained casually. "I see. You can tell me." Jiang Xingnan heaved a sigh of relief. "I'm used to being alone. I didn't think it was a big deal, so I didn't say anything. I didn't expect it to cause such a big commotion. Those gossipy women might even think of some tricks to bully you." Jiang Shengnan didn't mind that Mu Qiqi didn't trust her. After all, the two of them had never interacted before. To be fair, just because they were roommates, did they have to confide in each other? Let them be. In that case, I'll leave in my family's car in the afternoon. Mu Qiqi's meaning was obvious. She wanted to clarify things. Jiang Shengnan felt quite happy when she thought of the scene of those people seeing Sheng Xiao. There's really a lot of trouble in a place with a lot of girls. It doesn't matter. I just need to know where my direction is. That's enough. This was probably Mu Qiqi's shining point. Jiang Shengnan thought to herself, "If you need me in the future, bring me along. I also want to see a real murder scene." This girl was generous and forthright, which made Mu Qiqi feel comfortable. So she nodded. "If there's a chance, I'll introduce you to the police officers from the branch office." There were only 2 or 3 girls among the group of volunteers. Many boys still didn't want to lose face in front of the women. However, there weren't many who really wanted to serve these kids. After that, a group of people stood at the entrance of the rescue station and took photos. The dean called all the students out and put on the airs of education. "Today, you guys have disappointed me. It's not because of Mu Qiqi, but because you don't understand the meaning of life at all. You're all university students. In 2 or 3 years, you'll be serving the entire society. You probably haven't understood what you've chosen and what knives you're holding in your hands. Even the most basic thing, taking care of cats and dogs, is dirty and tiring. If you really encounter a murder case, do you want to hide in the car like today?" Chapter 787. Why is Mu Qiqi worthy of your respect? It is because she understands the value of life better than any of you. There is nothing more important in this world than life. It's a dog. It's dirty and smelly, but after it dies, it's no different from after you die. It's all a pile of dirt and a pile of bones. Everyone ends up in the same place. It's fine if you want to be pretentious. Anyway, You won't be able to stay in the Faculty of Forensic Science for long. Whether she's a dragon or a worm, you'll know when you get out. Why is it that whenever Wuxia is mentioned, the first thing that comes to mind is the case she participated in and her outstanding personality? Because she is professional, she doesn't need to rely on any background. She can still become a dragon among men, because she has never stopped working hard just because she has a lot of things. I'm a little talkative today. After returning to Jianchuan and school, you can forget all about it and continue living the life you want, eating, drinking, and having fun. That's all I have to say. In the future, I won't bother you with such things. The dean's words were especially piercing to the ears of the students. However, they couldn't find any words to refute, because this was their current situation. At this moment, they all had pride and shame. The morning activity is over, and there's another activity in the afternoon. That's the end of this spring outing. Now, as you wish, you can return to the resort. Although there were still some people who were stubborn, most people would learn to reflect. After all, not everyone came from a rich family. It was not easy to get into Shengting University. But after they got in, they would be wasting their time. They would feel ashamed of themselves. However, the dean had always treated Wuxia as a role model for everyone, which caused the girls in the faculty to feel uncomfortable. Wuxia does pass in her studies. We can't deny that. But her private life is rotten, and her relationships are messy. How dare the dean use her as an example? Bah! I really want to teach Wuxia a lesson. Can any of you come up with a good idea? Normal methods won't teach Wuxia a lesson at all. You'll even get yourself into trouble. If that was the case, why not call Zhongting and report her affair with Li Kongwen? I don't believe that Sheng Xiao would tolerate her being a cuckold. After the group of girls returned to their rooms, they gathered together and had a heated discussion. In the end, they agreed that calling Zhongting anonymously was the best way to take revenge on Wuxia. In the afternoon, the secretary's office received an anonymous call, claiming that there was an urgent matter and was looking for Sheng Xiao. The secretary received the message from her assistant and relayed it to Sheng Xiao. CEO, someone called your office anonymously just now, saying that it's related to Madam. Sheng Xiao smiled faintly. Any Tom, Dick, or Harry can talk to me now. Then I'll tell my assistant to ignore it. In fact, if it were something else, the secretary's office wouldn't dare to disturb you. It's only because it's related to Madam that they're a little nervous. With that, the secretary turned around and was about to reply to the secretary's office, but Sheng Xiao stopped her. Give them your number. I want to see what trouble has caused this time. Yes, President. In fact, even if she thought with her toes, she would know that it must be Wuxia's classmates. They did not like her and wanted to take revenge on her or something like that. For the past 2 days, there had been rumors about her and that hunk of the faculty. It was another anonymous call. Wasn't this a blatant lie? However, he also wanted to know who exactly was the person that was trying to stir up trouble behind the scenes. Why? She was better than them, yet she couldn't do it? Soon the call was picked up. The secretary handed the phone to Sheng Xiao, but Sheng Xiao did not pick it up. Put it on speaker. Okay. The secretary turned the phone on speaker and placed it in front of Sheng Xiao. If you have something to say, just say it. CEO Sheng is answering the phone now. There was the sound of an electric current on the other end of the line. After a few seconds, a woman's voice was heard. We're guests of the resort. We bumped into your woman and a young man being intimate. I suspect that they have an improper relationship, so I'm calling you. I hope you won't be deceived by Wuxia. You're a guest of the resort. You're really kind, Sheng Xiao teased. CEO Sheng, what I said is true. If you don't believe me, you can send someone over to ask. Everyone here knows. Moreover, Wuxia sneaked out last night and went on a date with a man. Is that so? Then I really have to thank you. How about this? Leave your contact information. I'll get my secretary to send you a gift as a thank you gift. No need. I just think that Wuxia is too much. That's why I'm calling you out of kindness. After hearing this, Sheng Xiao looked up at the secretary. The secretary understood what he meant. He picked up the phone and said to the other party, Hello, CEO Sheng is a person who will repay kindness. You've provided such an important clue. He must reward you. Is it convenient for you to leave your contact information for me? Sheng Xiao knew that the secretary would take care of this matter. He just felt that university students from famous universities, especially those from the forensic science department, were really too free. A moment later, the secretary returned to the secretary's side with the phone. I've already got the name. I'll send someone to the resort next door to ask later. Don't worry, CEO. Things here are almost done. Pick up Qi, or in the afternoon. I want to see that girl then. Understood. Sheng Xiao was doing big things. He bought the largest land in the bay to develop, and at the same time, he played riddles with university students. It had to be said that he was really energetic. However, the secretary knew very well that it was because of Mu Qiqi. As long as it was related to Madame, he was willing to do it himself, no matter how small it was. Even so, in the secretary's heart, the person he liked the most was still Madame. After all, Sheng Xiao was so powerful, but he still couldn't withstand Madame's coquettish words. Sheng Xiao did not tell Mu Qiqi about Mu Qiqi's call. Although she would not take it to heart, he did not want these messy things to ruin Mu Qiqi's good mood. However, the girls who plotted it thought that their revenge had succeeded. If I had known, I would have called. Zhongting's gift must be very rich. This is nothing. As long as it can make Mu Qiqi unable to be smug anymore, it's not important. But they did not react at all. What kind of man would give someone a gift the moment he heard that his woman had cheated on him? What was the structure of these women's brains? In the afternoon, there was a competition organized by the seaside. Because there were no stray cats and dogs, the group of people became more active. Chapter 788. Mu Qiqi did not think much of it. After all, it was only an afternoon. In the future, even if the dean threw a tantrum, she would not agree to participate in any activities in the department. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the event had come to an end. Sheng Xiao called Mu Qiqi to ask about the time, and asked his secretary to arrange for the two of them to go to the resort next door. A moment later, Sheng Xiao's car stopped on the beach. When the dean saw him, he quickly went up to him. President Sheng, are you here to pick Qiqi up? There's something else. Sheng Xiao answered as he looked in Mu Qiqi's direction. When everyone saw Sheng Xiao appear, the girls could not help but look at each other. They thought that their call had worked and Sheng Xiao had come to settle the score with Mu Qiqi, so they could not help but feel smug. Wasn't Mu Qiqi going to be in big trouble? Dean, the girls in the forensic department seemed to be quite free. Why do you say that, President Sheng? The dean was a little confused. Although he had heard some rumors, such things were very common in the school, so he did not pay attention to them. Someone called Zhongting's secretary, Sheng Xiao said mysteriously. You might not know, but I was in the hotel next door last night, so I called Qi'er over. Qi'er didn't alert anyone, but she was misunderstood as having an ambiguous late-night date with a male classmate. After hearing Sheng Xiao's words, the dean's expression turned a little ugly. Don't blame me, Dean. After all, the school is only responsible for teaching and educating people. You can't control something like IQ. Sheng Xiao lowered his head and smiled. The dean felt extremely embarrassed. Although this matter had nothing to do with him, this group of people were all university students. Why did they still act like high school students playing house? Did they not know the severity of the situation? They're all children. They don't know the severity of the matter. Please forgive them, President Sheng. Sheng Xiao turned around and glanced at the secretary. The secretary immediately reported the name to the dean. Of course I want to forgive them, but since they can call Zhongting, they will spread rumors about Qi'er everywhere when they return to the school. What do you think, Dean? I'm thinking too simply. I'll handle it. Don't worry, President Sheng. The dean sighed. He felt his face turn red and ashamed. Then, the dean returned to the activity venue and called the girl who made the phone call to the side to educate her. Zheng Huishan, how can you spread false rumors and slander your classmates? Director, what do you mean by slander? Mu Qiqi didn't abide by the school's rules and went out in the middle of the night to have a private date with a boy. Can't others talk about it? How can you be so sure that Mu Chichi went out to meet a man in private? Did you see it, or did someone see it? Therefore, in the face of Mu Chichi's domineering attitude, she could not say a word. She could only keep looking elsewhere, and even wanted to find a hole to hide in. Sheng Xiao, who was not far away, saw the situation. He probably knew that the matter had blown up, so he gestured to the secretary beside him to deliver the gift. The secretary walked briskly to the activity venue and said to everyone, "I'm CEO Sheng's secretary. May I know who you are, Miss Zhong?" Zhong Huishan immediately remembered that she had left her contact information with Zhongting when she called. She immediately felt guilty. However, with so many people present, and only her surname was Zhong, she could not deny it. It's me. Thank you for calling Zhongting this afternoon. CEO Sheng has sent you a gift." With that, the secretary took out a lawyer's letter from her bag and handed it to Zhong Huishan. "I seem to have forgotten to tell you that although I'm a secretary now, I'm a lawyer. I also have a law firm." After Zhong Huishan took it, she immediately collapsed to the ground. "No, this is a misunderstanding. I just misunderstood Chi-Chi. But I'm not the only one involved in this matter. There are others. They want to take revenge on Chi-Chi." Mu Chi-Chi really could not be bothered to look at this scene. The school was such a sacred place. Why did people always like to play tricks here? Chapter 789. You're also an adult. Even if you hate me and want to target me, you should find out whether things are as you think they are. You don't have any evidence. Do you really think a lie can become a truth just because you're talking nonsense? Or do you think that everyone in the world is like you, not using their brains? Mu Chi-Chi stared at the pair of hands hugging her thighs. "I was just instigated by someone." "You're so stupid. I really feel sorry for you," Mu Chi-Chi said mockingly. Then, she turned to look at the secretary. "Sister, let's forget about it this time. It's already like this. There's no hope." "I'll listen to you." The secretary smiled. "But I'm warning you. If there are any unfavorable rumors about me in the school in the future, I'll blame it on you. And that lawyer's letter is ready for you at any time." Did the others see it? The group of girls who wanted to take revenge on Mu Chi-Chi immediately looked away guiltily. Mu Chi-Chi did not want to waste any more time. She broke free from Zhong Huishan and walked away. "Dean, I want to leave early." "Go." The dean answered Mu Chi-Chi straightforwardly. After all, she had been wronged. Moreover, the activities of the others were almost over. "Thank you, Dean." Mu Chi-Chi turned around and glanced at Zhong Huishan again. Then, she walked towards Sheng Xiao with the secretary. "Why didn't you tell me that someone called you?" Mu Chi-Chi looked at Sheng Xiao reproachfully. "Why would I tell you? To make you feel disgusted for a while longer?" Sheng Xiao put his arm around her waist and led her into the car. "Let's go home. Third brother called. The child in the hospital has woken up. Don't you want to go and take a look?" Of course. The others watched Mu Chi-Chi leave in Sheng Xiao's car. They were all dumbfounded. "What are you looking at? Isn't it embarrassing enough? Pack up your things and go home. You're so stupid, yet you're still trying to frame others." When the two of them arrived at the hospital, Sheng Bowen and Mu Chi-Chi had just arrived at the door of Xiao Jieyu's ward. With her grandfather by her side, Xiao Jieyu was in good spirits. "I just asked the doctor. The doctor said that the injuries from the car accident will recover very quickly. However, her leukemia can't be delayed any longer. She needs a bone marrow transplant. So I've already asked the hospital to do a match as soon as possible," Sheng Bowen told Mu Chi-Chi. And Mu Chi-Chi, as he stood at the door of the ward, "You don't have to blame yourself. After all, she was framed. She was hurt because of me. Aren't you trying to redeem yourself?" Mu Chi-Chi patted his shoulder. "It's useless to put so much pressure on yourself. If I can successfully find a compatible bone marrow, then I can be considered to have completed my mission." Xiao Jieyu's grandfather was behind the door. When he heard their conversation, his eyes turned red. "It's all the child's uncle and aunt's fault." "President Sheng, you're also a victim. You've helped us enough." The old man was about to kneel when he saw Sheng Bowen, but Sheng Bowen helped him up. Xiao, 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 Xiao. Grandpa, Xiao Yu. This old man has nothing. I am penniless and have nothing. Apart from thanking you, there is nothing I can do for you. Grandpa Meng, you're too kind. Xiao Jieyu saw her savior through the crack in the door. Her grandfather said that he was her savior. She thought that when she saw her uncle in the future, she must thank him in person. Today was too tiring, too tiring. After visiting Xiao Jieyu, the group returned to the Sheng family. However, Mu Qiqi believed that Xiao Jieyu was not really out of danger. Since Shen Yu was from that side, if Xiao Jieyu died, it would be more beneficial for them to take down Sheng Bowen. Therefore, Sheng Xiao still arranged for people to keep an eye on Xiao Jieyu's safety at all times. Li Kongwen has already told me the name of the hotel, where his sister once appeared in J City. I think it might be related to Su Hong and Zhou Qin. I'll give all of this back to Captain Tang. I believe it will definitely help him. Sheng Xiao suppressed Mu Qiqi's urge to make a call and snatched her phone. Tang Yin knows how to arrange these things. Just treat this matter as the past. Don't mention it to anyone else. Mu Qiqi turned her head to look at Sheng Xiao. Although she was puzzled, she still nodded. I understand. It's third brother's side now. Continue to deal with Shen Yu. I don't even know how to act cool when investigating cases. But I'm more than capable of pretending to be innocent. Sheng Bowen made an okay gesture. I just didn't expect you to be able to gather clues when you went on a spring outing. It's just a coincidence. I'll let that Shen Yu get carried away. I'll let him think that he's in control of my entire life, Sheng Bowen said in amusement. This was his strength. No matter how difficult the situation was, he could find joy in it and never complain. Don't worry. Even if you really go in, I'll definitely think of a way to send those 2B asterisk cheese to keep you company. When Ren Yufei heard this, her expression changed. Sheng Bowen quickly said, she's joking. The four of them went to the Sheng family to meet the old man. After accompanying him for dinner, Sheng Xiao brought Mu Qiqi back to the Banyan courtyard. However, along the way, Mu Qiqi did not say anything. This was not like her character. Why aren't you saying anything? I'm thinking about Baisini's case, Mu Qiqi replied. Xiao Xiao, do you know? Actually, it's all a lie to say that humans are born kind. Children are no different from animals when they're born. They all follow their nature. That's why some people are born cold-blooded. Their genes carry violent genes, and they're also indifferent to life. And the most valuable thing about humans is the ability to restrain and control themselves. Sheng Kai, Cheng Bin, that Shen Yu, and the people behind them, I believe that sooner or later, they will pay the price for the lives they ignore. Yes, your awareness has improved quite well. Originally, if they wanted to save Sheng Bowen, they thought that they would have to obtain new information from J City, or seize the other party's lifeline. However, now that Shen Yu had joined the fray, it gave Sheng Xiao and Tang Yin a buffer. While Mu Qiqi was sleeping soundly, Sheng Xiao spoke to Tang Yin in the study. The informant has successfully sneaked in, and saw Mama Bai in the hotel. Just as Qiqi guessed, not only did this Mama Bai bury her daughter, but she also continues to do the pimp business. She's sitting in a wheelchair, but she's still restless. We have to find a reason to arrest her and interrogate her properly. Don't alert the enemy now. The most important thing is to find out who those victims served and why they died, Sheng Xiao said. Can't the Sheng family start with Sheng Kai? Chapter 790. If you have the time, you might as well keep an eye on Mama Bai. I'll get Su Che to arrange this matter. It's too easy to recognize the police. Tang Yin had no objections. Even if the chief did not agree, he had to investigate this matter thoroughly. He could not let old Cheng suffer in vain. 3 days later, the traffic accident responsibility certificate was issued. Although Sheng Bowen had been framed, he had driven away after the incident and did not take the initiative to call the police. It had indeed constituted an escape. Therefore, the police came with the certificate. Sheng Bowen was very calm. He only instructed Ren Yufei. When I'm not around, the vice president will temporarily take over my duties. You have to help him. Bowen, I don't have that kind of mind. Ren Yufei's face was pale. I'll be out soon. Don't worry and stay at home. Visit Jiayu for me from time to time. Ren Yufei's eyes were red. It was obvious that she couldn't bear to part with him. She really wished that she was the one in trouble, but she could not do much for Xingbowen. Now she could not afford to panic. Moreover, Qiqi and Sheng Xiao were there. Although subconsciously, she felt that it was really shameful to rely on others for everything. Xingbowen did not let her follow him. He only asked someone to inform Shenyu that it was time for the great lawyer to show off his powers. However, the news of the CEO of Huang Yao's arrest quickly spread. This was the so-called bad news travels 1,000 miles. Shenyu quickly went to the detention center with his briefcase. In the detention center, he successfully saw Xingbowen. I'm arranging for you to be released on bail pending trial, so I might have to trouble you to stay inside for a while. I've already made thorough arrangements for this matter. Just leave everything to me. You're the lawyer that eighth brother hired from the United States. I've entrusted my life to you. You must do your best. As expected, Xingbowen pretended to be naive and sweet, as if he was being dominated by Shenyu. Don't worry, I'll give you a satisfactory answer. In fact, the Sheng family's lawyer was a little shocked at the news. Although he knew that Sheng Xiao had asked him to secretly prepare for the lawsuit, it was still unbelievable that Xingbowen's case was filed as a criminal case. Several conditions had to be met to constitute an escape. Subjectively, Xingbowen must have known that the accident had happened and deliberately evaded responsibility. The police investigation team could find out from all aspects that Xingbowen was unconscious at the time. Otherwise, how could he go shopping with his wife and go home so calmly? Secondly, objectively speaking, Xingbowen did not violate any traffic regulations. He did not violate any traffic regulations. Moreover, he was framed, so the victim could be held fully responsible. Moreover, as for the victim, Xiao Jiyu, Xingbowen actively cooperated with the compensation. The victim expressed her understanding. No matter what, this matter should not have been filed. She did not know who was behind it. In fact, this was only the second step of Jinbo's plan. Xingbowen's case was destined to be reversed when Xiao Jieyu's uncle and aunt were arrested. However, in order to achieve his ultimate goal, Jinbo would carry out the second step of the plan. After the criminal case was filed and Xingbowen was arrested, Shenyu would release him on bail pending trial, and then arrange for an even more serious traffic accident for him. At that time, even if there were 10 Xing Xiaos, they would not be able to protect Xingbowen. Hearing the news that Xingbowen had been taken away, Old Master Sheng seemed to have aged a lot overnight. No matter how much money he earned, he would not be able to exchange for his grandson's freedom. Therefore that night Old Master Sheng fell ill. No one could take care of him during his illness, so he kept calling for Xiao Qi. Ren Yufei had no choice but to call Mu Qiqi. Qiqi, I didn't mean to disturb your rest, but Grandpa found out that after Bowen was arrested he fell ill. He had a high fever and kept calling your name. If you have time, can you come over and see Grandpa? It's already so late. Do you have time? I want to come over too. That old man had always caused trouble for her when he was healthy. Now that he had finally woken up, he was sick all day. Mu Qiqi quickly got up and returned to the Sheng family's home with Sheng Xiao. The old man was lying on the bed unconscious. His hands were grabbing at the air. Mu Qiqi quickly grabbed it. Damn old man, I'm back. Weren't you looking for me? The old man struggled for a moment before opening his eyes. He looked at Mu Qiqi, who was sitting by the bed. Xiao Qi, I'm not dreaming, am I? I'm in the Banyan courtyard. It's not like I'm far away. What are you dreaming about? Mu Qiqi rolled her eyes. You didn't know how to love third brother before. Now you know how to regret it, don't you? The old man struggled to sit up and leaned against the soft pillow. His eyes were wet. If I hadn't caused this trouble, third brother wouldn't have had to suffer. He doesn't hate you in his heart, Mu Qiqi said. Hurry up and drink your medicine. Third sister-in-law has been taking care of you for most of the night. You should let her rest too. The old man refused to listen to other people's advice. For some reason, he listened to Mu Qiqi very much. Holding the bowl of medicine in his hand, he drank it all. If anything happens to you at this critical juncture, believe it or not, third brother will hate himself for the rest of his life if he finds out. Muqiqi threatened him. I just want him to be fine. I want to see my grandson come back. Who said your grandson won't come back? Chapter 791. You can only look for us. Sheng Xiao took the opportunity to hold Muqiqi's hand and answer Ren Yufei. Sheng Bowen was in trouble, and Huang Yao was in turmoil. Wasn't that what Sheng Kai wanted to see? That's great. I can rest assured now. Ren Yufei let out a sigh of relief. Seeing her like this, Muqiqi pinched Sheng Xiao's palm and said to him, "Wait for me in the car for a few minutes. I'll come out after I have a few words with third sister-in-law. Don't take too long." After Sheng Xiao instructed her, he walked out of the living room. Third sister-in-law, now that grandpa is sick and third brother has been arrested, you're the only one who can support the Sheng family. You must be strong, and not let Sheng Kai see you as a joke. You also have to believe that third brother will be fine soon. You just need to hold on for a week. Although Ren Yufei was worried, she knew the severity of the matter, so she said to her, "Xiaoqi, don't worry. Before he comes back, I won't collapse." That's good. After Muqiqi said that, she followed Sheng Xiao and left the Sheng family's home. After all, there were some things that she could not bear for Ren Yufei. On the way back, Muqiqi asked Sheng Xiao, "About third brother, what do you plan to do with Shenyu?" "He's preparing the information for bail pending trial." Sheng Xiao answered as he drove the car with one hand and supported the window with the other. "I keep feeling that this Shenyu has other tricks up his sleeve. Although he's under your nose, he's still a dangerous person." Muqiqi felt uneasy, especially when she saw that the old man was seriously ill. What happens after he's released on bail? Why don't we close the net earlier and arrange for the Sheng family's lawyer to go up? I know what I'm doing. The first one to be in trouble now is Huang Yao. Late at night on the yacht, Shenyu was hugging women left and right. He was very happy on the deck, but this was all spent on Changrong Electronics funds. This made Sheng Kai very unhappy. "Kid, that useless third brother of yours has only just entered the detention center. But the good show is yet to come. Don't sigh now. This money isn't worth it for you." Shenyu mocked Sheng Kai as he drank red wine. As a person, you can't just look at the immediate benefits. Moreover, now that Huang Yao is leaderless, it's the best time for you to strike. It's such a good opportunity, yet you don't know how to thank me. You only know how to lament how I spent your money. Am I not working for you? Sheng Xiao isn't easy to deal with. Did he really not notice what you did? Sheng Kai still could not completely trust Shenyu. During the day, this person was polite and refined, but at night, he revealed his true colors and acted like a clown. Could such a person really hide from Sheng Xiao's eyes? He didn't believe it. "You don't believe me. Your third brother is already in jail, and Sheng Xiao is still asking me to bail Sheng Bowen out. Do you know that once Sheng Bowen is bailed out, he will fall into our second plan? You don't know anything but exaggerate the enemy's abilities. Let's wait for Sheng Bowen's trial document to come out first." Sheng Kai kept his guard up. Seeing him like this, Shenyu smiled even more and hooked his finger at him. "Come here, I'll give you another benefit." Sheng Kai approached him doubtfully. Then he heard Shenyu say, "The vice president of Huang Yao. His mother is in our hands. He will do whatever you want him to do. Even if he sells Huang Yao to you, he will be willing. Aren't you afraid that he will call the police? He can't do anything." Shenyu's smug smile fully showed what it meant to be a wolf's ambition. "So tomorrow, go and check your big gift bag. You only need a small amount of capital to get a lot of things from Huang Yao. Of course, if you want to nibble away at it, it's best to lure the people of Huang Yao step by step." After Sheng Kai heard this, he felt that he had been possessed. That was why he felt that Shenyu's words were so attractive. The next day, at Huang Yao's regular meeting, because of Sheng Bowen's arrest, many of the contracts that Huang Yao had already negotiated were suddenly interrupted. Either that, or various foreign companies requested to terminate their contracts with Huang Yao on the grounds that Huang Yao had breached the contract. Ren Yufei sorted out the plans that Huang Yao had made for the second half of the year. Because of this matter, they were almost stopped. "I've read all the briefings. At present, We can lose all of our cooperation projects, but we can't terminate our cooperation with the Shengyi group. However, if we want to maintain our cooperation with them, I've also gone to talk to them. The other party has a lot of conditions. They want us to add 20% as a deposit. The vice president of Huang Yao was worried at the regular meeting. 20%. How can Huang Yao take out so much money now? The people from the finance department expressed helplessness and difficulty. I've done some calculations. If we want to maintain our cooperation with the Shengyi group, we need to stop investing in Asia. Also, we need to sell a few pieces of land. That way, we can barely make ends meet. But if we do this, the outside world will hear rumors and think that Huang Yao really can't operate anymore. So we're selling our assets. The people from the finance department were worried. Can we try to get Zhongting's help? I've tried, but the people from Zhongting won't see me at all. Logically speaking, the relationship between 8th Young Master and Huang Yao has eased, so there's no need for this. However, when I went to Zhongting, the door was indeed shut in my face. The people from Zhongting also told me that Zhongting won't interfere in any of Huang Yao's matters. Otherwise, do you think I'd be willing to sell it? Of course, this matter still needs to be discussed with the board of directors. But I saw 8th brother at home yesterday. He said that if there were any difficulties, I could look for him at any time. Vice President Yang, when did you go to Zhongting's people? Ren Yufei sat at the side and asked the vice president. This, of course. I'll call 8th brother to find out if you've been to Zhongting. Secretary Ren, I'm afraid you can't care about Huang Yao's matters now, right? You're just CEO Sheng's girlfriend. Moreover, he's already left everything to me to handle, Vice President Yang said to Ren Yufei. Vice President Yang said to Ren Yufei, I'm an old hero of Huang Yao. Do you want me to harm Huang Yao? That's right. Secretary Ren, it doesn't seem appropriate for you to care about Huang Yao's matters now. After all, you haven't married him yet. The people from the other departments also expressed their opinions. Who said it's inappropriate? Bowen and I have already registered our marriage and are protected by the law. What's wrong with that? Ren Yufei asked the other party. Even so, you're just a secretary. What do you know about business? Chapter 792. I don't know how to run a business, but I know that in order to maintain the stability of Huang Yao, there's no need to terminate the Asian plan, sell the land, or even pay a deposit, as long as 8th Young Master can help. The problem is that he's unwilling to help. The vice president emphasized to everyone. Ren Yufei didn't want to talk to him anymore. She just took out her phone and called Sheng Xiao in public. Hello, Sheng Xiao Zhongting. 8th brother, Huang Yao has encountered a little difficulty. Can you help us solve it? Last night, Ren Yufei had already asked, but now she was asking again. She wanted everyone to know what kind of person the vice president was. Capital Technology Management. You name it. Everyone heard Sheng Xiao's answer and looked at Vice President Yang in confusion. Can you explain what's going on? I was personally promoted by the president. I'm grateful for the president's trust. Of course, I want the best for Huang Yao. But dare I ask, can you still believe that he treated Huang Yao sincerely when he said that he didn't want Huang Yao anymore and left the mess behind? Yes, I lied to you. I didn't go to Zhongting's people because I have a lot of doubts about Sheng Xiao. Who can guarantee that he will manage Huang Yao well? In the future, when he falls out with the Sheng family again, will he just ignore it like that? Instead of that, I might as well find my own way from the beginning. That way, I can avoid being restrained by others. The deputy CEO's words were very agitated under his anger. Everyone present could feel his love for Huang Yao. In fact, what he said made a lot of sense. It was better to solve it on his own than to beg others. The main reason was that Sheng Xiao had treated Huang Yao like a toy. He played with it a few times when he was happy and threw it out when he was unhappy. Such a person in charge was really unconvincing. Then let the board of directors make a decision on this matter, Vice President. As for Secretary Ren, in the future, you'll only be responsible for doing what a secretary should do. Don't interrupt or interfere with anything else, okay? The director of the Ministry of Finance said to Ren Yufei politely. Ren Yufei knew that she was just a secretary. What she said was not enough to convince this group of people. That was why she did not say anything else, and simply told Xing Xiao about it over the phone after the meeting. It's useless no matter how much you do now. Don't provoke the vice president. Just let him do it. Xing Xiao was also considering Ren Yufei's safety. But he really wants to stop the development plan in Asia and sell Huang Yao's assets. Let him break it and let him sell it. Xing Xiao said nonchalantly. I'll deal with it in time. You just need to protect yourself. I understand. Not only did Ren Yufei understand Xing Xiao's plan, but she also understood his reminder because he had already arranged everything. There was no need for Ren Yufei to risk her safety for these people. A mere vice president wanted to mess with Huang Yao. He should take a good look at himself first. That afternoon, Huang Yao held a board meeting. At the board meeting, Vice President Yang proposed to solve Huang Yao's problems, which was to stop Huang Yao's most outrageous plan and sell the least profitable pieces of land. Not only that, but Vice President Yang also sowed discord between the board of directors and Xing Xiao at the meeting. He received almost unanimous support from the board of directors. Not only did the board of directors support his actions, but they also agreed to persuade Old Master Sheng. That was because important resolutions required the chairman's personal signature, in addition to the approval of the shareholders. However, just as Xin Yu had said, if Sheng Kai wanted to devour everything, he would have to carry out the plan step by step. This time, Huang Yao had prepared a deposit, but once the time passed, the amount of the deposit would change again, and they would have to sell other assets. This was how a trap was formed. In the evening, Old Master Sheng received a call from a shareholder and told him about the current situation of Huang Yao. After hearing this, the old man's condition worsened, and he fainted at home. The Sheng family sent the old man to the hospital, and it took him several hours before he woke up. The first thing he did when he opened his eyes was to see Xing Xiao. Ren Yufei had no choice but to quickly call Xing Xiao. Eighth brother, Grandpa's condition has worsened again. He's in the hospital now. If the outside world finds out about this, it will be even more disadvantageous for Huang Yao. Xing Xiao rushed to the hospital with Mu Qiqi. Seeing that the old man was weak, Mu Qiqi asked Ren Yufei about the reason for his serious illness. He was much better yesterday. Why did it get worse today? I just looked at Grandpa's phone. He seems to have received a call from a shareholder on the board of directors. He probably found out about Huang Yao's situation and couldn't take it anymore. Ren Yufei handed the phone to Xing Xiao. Grandpa's serious illness can't continue. Xing Xiao took the phone and said, Don't let him receive any messages about Huang Yao in the future. After saying that, Xing Xiao dialed the shareholder's number. Old Xing? What happened just now? Are you feeling unwell? Oh, I'm really sorry. I really didn't mean to anger you. It wasn't on purpose. Chairman Gao is also angry, Xing Xiao said coldly. Then, if you want to discuss something with Grandpa, look for me. Xing Xiao. That's right. I'm Xing Xiao. The man on the other end of the phone answered calmly. I'm fine. Third young master has been arrested. Huang Yao needs someone in charge, right? So, I'm here to ask the old man. Ever since the old man had a major surgery, his health has not been as good as before. If something really happens to him, can you take responsibility, Chairman Gao? If you can take responsibility, I'll give him the phone. No. The so-called Chairman Gao immediately admitted defeat. I hope that Chairman Gao knows what he's doing. There won't be a next time. The other party, Chairman Gao, quickly hung up. Why was Xing Xiao still so scary after so long? Xing Xiao put away his phone, and the old man woke up. When he saw the people in the ward, he blinked and held Mu Qiqi's hand. He said to everyone, Eighth brother and the others stay. You guys can go back. Sixth brother and the others knew that it was useless to stay here, so they nodded. Then Grandpa, have a good rest. The old man felt very weak and his breathing was rapid. After a while he said to Xing Xiao, Eighth brother, do you still remember the yellow bag I gave you? Of course. Take over Huang Yao and merge it with Zhongting. You can manage it however you want. Just don't let it fall into the hands of evil people. The old man was obviously struggling to speak. Chapter 793. I'm afraid that when I die, I won't have the face to face the ancestors of the Sheng family. Only when eighth brother takes over can I truly be at ease. After Sheng Xiao heard this, he glanced at the old man and promised seriously, I can take over and clean up Huang Yao. When third brother comes out, I'll return it to him intact. Wouldn't it be great if I could resolve my grudge with Sheng Kai? The old man was daydreaming. Don't force it so much. Sheng Xiao couldn't help but pour cold water on him. Not everything can go as you wish. If your health permits, arrange for a board meeting tomorrow. If the matter isn't resolved at once, you won't be able to recuperate in peace. The old man sighed. He knew that he was forcing him. Yufei, call and inform them, the old man said to Ren Yufei. Grandpa Sheng said to Ren Yufei, it's just that. Eighth brother, if one day, Sheng Kai falls into your hands, will you let him go? Ren Yufei asked. Tell Sheng Kai this. See if he's willing to let Xiao Xiao go. Mu Qiqi immediately asked the old man. Old man Sheng knew that it was impossible, so he didn't say anything and looked at Mu Qiqi eagerly. If you really want to wait until your little great-grandson is born, you don't have to worry about the Sheng family's matters after this board meeting. You've endured the major surgery, but you can't endure the human heart? The old man pouted. Even he didn't realize that his behavior was becoming more and more like a child. Rest well. We'll be here with you. Old man Sheng saw that Mu Qiqi had secretly yawned a few times. She must be very tired. However, she didn't show any impatience at all. She was already patient enough with this old man. Therefore, old man Sheng didn't whine anymore, and obediently lay down to rest. However, he couldn't bear to let go of Mu Qiqi's hand even when he was asleep. Sheng Xiao saw this and snorted coldly. Mu Qiqi quickly comforted him. Why are you so jealous? You'd better think about how to take back Huang Yao tomorrow. This way I'll be at ease. I'll get Su Che to send you back to rest. I'll stay here. Sheng Xiao pulled her hand out of the old man's and helped her up. He wanted to push her away, but Mu Qiqi just sat down against him. I'll just lean on your shoulder and sleep for a while. Grandpa is asleep. You guys can go back. I'll stay here tonight. Ren Yufei saw that the two of them looked tired and urged them to go home. After a while, Sheng Xiao got up with Mu Qiqi in his arms and instructed Ren Yufei. Pay attention to the old man's health tomorrow. I'll take care of the rest. I'll leave everything to you, eighth brother. Sheng Xiao said nothing and left the hospital with Mu Qiqi in his arms. This thing was sleeping soundly in his arms. The next day, everyone in Huang Yao received the news that the chairman would personally host the shareholders' meeting. It must be to stabilize the recent turbulent situation. Yesterday, there were rumors that the old master was unwell and was in the hospital again. No one expected that the board meeting would be held today. Vice President Yang knew very well that the old man would intervene in this matter sooner or later. With his strength alone, even if he could shake Huang Yao for a while, he would not be able to shake its foundation. After all, although Sheng Xiao had established his own company, he was Huang Yao's solid backer. Therefore, Vice President Yang hid in his office early in the morning and spoke to Sheng Kai on the phone. Today, the chairman will personally hold a board meeting. The plan can't go on. I told Mr. Shen that I alone can't overthrow the entire Sheng family, but you guys didn't believe me. Now that I've been exposed, I can't even protect myself. Why are you panicking? On the other end of the phone, Shen Yu and Sheng Kai were together. He said calmly, since he's going to hold a board meeting personally, let's give him a gift. He's already so old. Why would he still want to hold a board meeting? What gift? He's already going into the coffin. Don't you think it's a hindrance to meddle in the affairs of young people? Shen Yu held the cat in his arms and kept scratching the kitten's chin. Let's see if this old thing is so lucky every time. I'll prepare the thing later. When the time comes, you just need to give it to him. You want to kill someone. Sheng Kai understood what he meant and reached out to grab his shirt. Why? You're following teacher. So why do you care about that little bit of human life? Besides, I know you hate that old thing. Don't you want him to die? Xinyu snorted coldly. Don't deceive yourself. You can't wait for the Sheng family to be wiped out. Sheng Kai did not say anything. He only felt complicated and uncomfortable. He knew that Xinyu wanted to do something bad to his grandfather, but he was hesitating whether he should stop him or not. What did this mean? This meant that Xinyu knew him very well, and knew what he wanted in his heart. Save him, or not save him? Think about it carefully. If you save him, you still won't get the Sheng family, and you won't get his love. I don't need you to tell me, Sheng Kai said angrily. Do you know what your biggest problem is? You're not capable, and you're always soft-hearted. It doesn't matter. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon anyway. You still have a lot of time to think about it. Xinyu put down the cat in his arms and returned to his room with a mocking expression. If it weren't for the fact that this piece of trash still had some value, he wouldn't have bothered to help him come up with a plan. He was so stupid that there was no cure. Sheng Kai sat down on the sofa. From start to finish, he was a puppet that was being controlled. He didn't know what step he wanted to take, but it involved human lives. If it came to light in the future, would he still be able to stay out of it? Xinyu prepared a small gift for old Master Sheng. It was a photo of Sheng Bowen being humiliated in prison. Would the old man be able to sit still after seeing these bloody things? He didn't believe it. In the afternoon, after Ren Yufei helped the old man wash up in the hospital, she helped him into a wheelchair. However, before they set off, Ren Yufei squatted on the ground and asked, "Grandpa, can you hold on? If you still don't feel well, we'll go another day." Old Master Sheng sat in his wheelchair and felt more energetic than yesterday. He said to Ren Yufei, "I'm fine. We can set off. Then we'll go to Huangyao. When the time comes, no matter what those directors say at the board meeting, I hope Grandpa won't be angry. Your health is important, and it's not worth getting angry for those people. I know what I'm doing." After saying that, Old Master Sheng waved his hand and signaled for Ren Yufei to leave quickly. Perhaps this was the last time in his life that he would preside over the board meeting of Huangyao. From now on, regardless of success or failure, he would hand over the power of Huangyao. After getting into the car, Old Master Sheng took out his phone and called his lawyer. "I want to change my will. Prepare it." That you're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.